What do I do with my...
Oh. Hello, Jessica. Congratulations, you are first. Very good. Very good. Very good indeed.
Für mich war es auch schwerer, als ich vegan geworden bin. Nicht, weil die Umstellung so krass schwer ist, die ist natürlich ein Aufwand, aber ein Aufwand, der in keinem Verhältnis steht zu dem, was den Tieren sonst passiert. Aber für mich ist vor allem schwerer, wenn man das mal...
I don't know what she's saying. I don't speak funny talk. But she is pretty jacked.
We're at Umber today, and we're going to do a little bitty baby bicep.
Gains. When Vegan Gains crashes out, I have to remix it.
Oh, great.
I'll drop you on your fucking head!
Hey, Alt Orange, you're a fucking retard and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Shut the fuck up. Steroids are vegan, dumb fuck, just because you did a stupid fucking Google search where you asked some stupid fucking AI chatbot doesn't mean you don't know fucking shit. The fact that you're even using a fucking AI means you're a fucking idiot. I'll fucking show you how fucking vegan steroids are. I'll drop you on your fucking head. I just have to smash you on your fucking head. I'll drop you on your fucking head. I just have to smash you on your fucking head. I'll drop you on your fucking head. I just have to smash you on your fucking head. I'll fucking show you how fucking vegan steroids are. I'll drop you on your fucking head. Very nice.
Birth.
Thanks for the donation, Killing Titan.
What happened to your dad? You mentioned it during the end of your workout stream.
He's got thyroid cancer. And I think he's had pneumonia like twice. Thanks for the donation though, G. Appreciate it.
Very few fitness influencers have emphasized...
Oh yeah, Scotty Fitness. This guy's mustache looks fucking retarded. Like, when your fucking mustache covers your entire mouth, how the fuck do you eat?
Workout. The bicep really only needs two things: supported preacher, one arm, and a hammer. You really don't need anything else, because you work the biceps brachii and you work the brachialis and the brachioradialis. Two muscles to rule them all, and in the darkness bind them. Let's go hit some biceps. This is my favorite bicep. It's by a new brand called Jim Lico. And if you notice, it's got a really small profile. So it's hard to see, but if you look at it from this angle, these are angled out and angled in, the way your arms would actually be angled, not the way any other manufacturer makes them. At this point, I'm bracing. My lead foot's under my body weight to support me, and I'm pushing that way with the lead foot. The back foot, I'm rotating out a little bit, and I'm pushing away. With this hand, I'm pulling in, so I can pull my body.
They call that mustache a pussy broom.
Into the pad.
That's a good one.
Right here. and then I'm pulling my arm down here.
Guess if you're any good, it'd turn into a pussy mop.
And I'm watching where the strength arc is, because if your elbow's too far forward or too far back, it's heavy in the wrong part of the range of motion. The hand should overlap the shoulder. It should be a straight line. It shouldn't be in like this. I see a lot of guys doing that. And that's what I mean when I talk about lack of athletic ability. That anyone who has a natural athletic ability, like when your 6 or 7-year-old son, if you do not make that child do exercise in a coordinated fashion, they're gonna grow up to be some flat-footed Gumby kid, and they're gonna get fat. Like, you gotta be able to do sports, at least when you're a little kid, so that every time you go to do something in life, your body does it the right way, because your nervous system developed completely in its developmental years. That eating McDonald's and playing PlayStation.
Can we react to this now?
In a minute. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Exclusively, and not doing sports as a kid is just gonna make you a completely physically useless
No, he's not vegan.
adult, because your nervous system won't know what to do with your body in an emergency. So it's not that you can't learn how to do this at 40, but it'd be like trying to learn how to read at 40. You know what I mean? It's like way harder to learn how to read at 40 than it would be at like 4. Same thing as like learning how to do basic stuff, like watch a toddler or a little kid squat, perfect form. Ask an adult to squat. You'd think they had cerebral palsy, that there's no way, they have no clue what to do, not at all. So it's funny how people have regressed so extensively from the time they were children to the time they're adults. We got 2 sets left of biceps. It's usually gonna be a hammer curl or a Bayesian curl or a hammer Bayesian curl. I didn't bring my fat grip, so I'm probably just gonna do dumbbell hammer curls to wrap it up. Something that seems simple, hammer curl, it's the only way to hit the brachialis. I have a bitch of a time hitting the brachialis, so I might change my form a few different ways. Some people wanna know where to grab it. So here is even distribution, right? You're gonna get a good amount of everything. If you do there, it's kind of lazy.
Live Stony Chillers, can you really blame people for voting Republican?
You support that?
Of course I do.
Can we get your signature real quick? We're get back on. Ask you a quick question. We're trying to get back undocumented people who were deported by ICE. You support that?
Of course I do.
Can we get your signature real quick? We're part of the Bring Them Back campaign. Specifically,
The majority of the ICE arrests have failed, and they're illegal arrests, and they have to like drop all charges and shit. It's retarded. Like what ICE is doing under Trump is just fucking nonsense. And they've actually killed more people than I realized. They're only reporting on the people who've been killed by ICE who are like white. There have been a number of ICE killings of black and like Mexican or brown people that just haven't really been reported. Like, again, probably presumably because there's less media interest in covering like black dudes being killed or something.
Darwin Vasquez Ramos, who was deported in Maryland this week. And I do have to tell you, he was convicted of third-degree sex offense, but we think he deserves a second chance.
Okay.
Could we just get your signature? And what do you think about what's going on with ICE right now?
Well, it upsets me very much.
This is fucking stupid.
We're trying to bring back people who were deported by ICE. Can we get your signature for our petition? Oh, thank you so much. Specifically, we're trying to bring back Omar Barojas Aranas. We have to tell you, though, he was convicted of kidnapping and possession of drugs. Is that okay?
Like, I'm not even gonna bother watching this third one. Is this the same fucking idiot?
I was not planning on speaking, so thank you so much.
Hi.
Give it up.
Hello, everyone. How are we doing?
I'm not gonna bother. The ICE detentions are absolutely fucking retarded. There's a disproportionate amount of killings with ICE than with any other kind of police or federal agency. They have been proven to be just shooting innocent people for absolutely no fucking reason. Like that one woman who was shot 5 times by ICE. It was proven in court that they literally lied about every single aspect of the entire incident. They claimed that they were being boxed in. That never happened. They claimed that she tried to run them over when that never happened. Proven in court. They're also bragging about shooting this woman. They said something about 5 bullets, 7 holes. Oh, yeah, I'm going to buy you a beer, bro. Like, these people are bragging about shooting innocent people. It's fucking insane. And the majority of these ICE detentions, they end up being completely ineffectual because they're illegal arrests. So, I don't know what they're trying to get out of, like, stupid videos like this. It's just dumb.
And if you're wondering, if I had to choose between a Muslim and a dog, I would choose the dog any day. At least dogs don't bomb concerts and marathons.
Yeah, that's true. I would choose a dog too. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. G. Donny Tillers, read the first comment. Since lefties hate colonialism, who are they going to side with now? Muslim Lounge. Yes.
He said what no one else would say.
It's a political impossibility to deport hundreds of thousands of people. We simply can't do it.
But a deportation scheme on the scale required would be impossible, as it would take a flight leaving every hour. That sounds like a very good starting point to me. The message has to be clear. If you're in our country...
All they have to do is get rid of all the public benefits for these, quote-unquote immigrants and refugees. That's all they have to do. And then they'd move back to their fucking home country. And you can just give them some sort of incentive to leave. So just give them a free plane flight and maybe like an extra $500 or something. That would be cheaper than the fucking social programs that they're like completely taking advantage of. That's what Sweden's been doing basically. So just take away their fucking, like, it's insane. These people they're given more than welfare. They're given free housing, free food. They're given like an allowance where they get extra money to spend on whatever the fuck they want, and they don't even have to be looking for a fucking job. If they just got rid of those fucking like stupid social benefits for these like bumfuck retard worthless fucking people who I don't know why the fuck they're even here in the first place, they just fucking leave on their own. So, like, yeah, I mean, the UK is just insane. This guy sounds fairly based.
Illegally expects deportation.
Like, I mean, I don't know if this guy like has actually said like all we have to do is just get rid of their benefits and put them on a fucking plane. Like, you know, it's cheaper anyway. But yeah, like it's just retarded.
Implement that on the scale required, and the boats will stop overnight. I can promise you that.
Yeah. Well, and again, none of these, none of the politicians from the traditional parties are willing to acknowledge the immigration problem. So yeah, you're going to see popularity of these like, kind of niche candidates just skyrocket. Thanks for the donation, G.
Holy crap, these creeps are bragging about killing innocent people. How the fuck could anyone who claims to be Christian support them?
Yes, it's retarded. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Guys,
Oh yeah, we had.
And you're not going to be able to grip it fully. So usually what happens is if people get tired, they slip to here. And then it ends up crushing their hand and fucks up their elbows eventually too. I like to grab it here because I get to add a little bit of extra brachioradialis into the curl. Now I'm not going to do that with 40 pounds. I'll rip that shit right off the boat. But with like 15, when you're warming up, getting the pump in the full thing, getting the brachialis, which is that muscle right there. As you can see, that's where I put my injectable pre-workout most of the time because I don't normally feel that muscle. So if I shoot a bunch of burning shit in it, now I can feel it. Now I can contract it. You can see that brachialis coming out, right? Yeah. So we want to get the brachioradialis.
It's weird how people have different veins. I have some veins that go across my arm, but they're not as pronounced as that.
First, and then curl into the brachialis. Like, oh, I'm such a man. Look how much weight I use. Like that would be too much. We just.
I have to choose between having dogs, which are part of the fabric of the United States, and a group of people who want to come here and say, I can't have them, they can go home. Sharia is.
I don't even know why this is being debated. Muslims believe non-Muslims are less than animals. It literally states that explicitly in the Quran. So, like, why is it considered racist to say, I'd rather, like, save a dog than save Muslims or something, when Muslims literally admit, like, it states it explicitly in the Quran, non-Muslims are below animals. Like, okay.
Coming, and I'm simply saying
double
we aren't
standards.
going to put up with it.
Do you basically just hate Muslims?
This is the Republican Party of today. It's a far-right, fascistic, white supremacist party.
Should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan?
I think that we are moving in all of our positions to avoid for that question to even arise.
Donald Trump's sentences make AOC look like the most eloquent woman in history.
But one of the reasons Donald Trump got re-elected is that you guys have got literally Trump derangement syndrome.
You have TDS.
AOC is a cowardly, pathetic fucking idiot to even say that. Like, Jesus Christ. The Democratic Party is, like, actually completely fucked. Like, legitimately, absolutely fucking ruined. Basically, both parties are pretty much ruined. You have Russian intrusion into the Republican Party, and they're all like crazy, wacko, right-wing fascists. And then you have Chinese communist intrusion into the Democratic Party, and they're all like fucking woke retard, let in all the fucking illegal Muslims, like just ban guns, dumb fucking retard shit.
You have Trump denial syndrome.
Congressman Randy Fine has become a bête noire for those who believe that Israel has undue influence on American politics. It's not only the fact that he supports Israel, which they don't like, but rather the way that he does it.
And Muslims have the nerve to claim Allah is a loving God.
Yeah, definitely ain't. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
A post by the congressman on X this week stating that he chose dogs over Muslims drew a ferocious backlash from across the aisle. Gavin Newsom called him a racist slob. Megyn Kelly, the Conservative commentator, said he was a pathetic, sweaty bigot. Well, here to justify what he did is Randy Fine, the Republican congressman in Florida. Congressman, welcome back to Uncensored.
Thanks, Pierce. Thanks for having me.
So it takes quite something to unite Gavin Newsom and Megyn Kelly. And what it was what you posted on X. You said if they force us to choose, the choice between dogs and Muslims is not a difficult one. To which I respond,
yeah, I prefer dogs over Muslims. That's, like, again, I don't know why, especially considering how Muslims say non-Muslims are below animals, why this is even controversial to say. So Muslims hate you, but it's wrong to say I prefer dogs over Muslims. Okay.
responded to you when I read that, you disgusting prick. To which you responded, Piers, what is disgusting is a major New York City Muslim leader saying we must give up our dogs because NYC is coming to Islam. We will not be shamed into being conquered like the Europeans. I choose my dog. Then you said, I know my first appearance on your show didn't go well for you, but if you want to try again, I'm happy to administer another beating, which I'm very, very pleased to see that you've decided to do that again. Me now having recovered from the first one. The comment you were responding to was by someone who's been on my show a few times, Nerdine Kiswani. She's the co-founder of the pro-Palestinian group within our lifetime. She wrote this: finally, NYC is coming to Islam. Dogs definitely have a place in society, just not as indoor pets. Like we've said all along, they are unclean. She later clarified, also clearly trying to weigh in on an issue unaware of the current NYC discourse where we're collectively jokingly hating on dogs given all the visible dog shit in the unmelted snow, laughing my ass off, followed by laughing my ass off at the Zionists frothing at the mouth of this, thinking they're doing something. It's obviously a joke. I don't care if you have a dog. I do care if your dog is shitting everywhere and you're not cleaning it. So she says she made a glib comment, which was intended as a joke. I certainly read it that way. But your response, the reason it enraged people so much, was just so brazenly bigoted. You made no attempt to even hide it.
Okay, if we care about bigotry, then I guess we should get rid of Muslims because they hate non-Muslims, they hate gay people, they hate trans people, they want Sharia law, they want to be able to murder non-believers, apostates, homosexuals, trans people. So if we really do hate bigotry and we're like so against bigotry, then I guess you'd be in support of getting rid of all the fucking Muslims from your country, huh? Oh, wait. I'm a fucking idiot. I listen to communist, retarded, brain rot, horseshit propaganda. I'm supposed to, like, be ashamed of my race and my religion and my country and my ethnic background and all the fucking history my nation has. And I'm supposed to, like, destroy my own fucking nation by bringing in a bunch of, like, retarded fucking insane whack jobs from Afghanistan and Syria and I guess Northern Africa and act like their culture is better than mine. That's what I'm supposed to do because I'm an idiot.
The choice between dogs and Muslims is not a difficult one. Explain what possessed you to do that.
Well, thanks, Piers. First, I would sort of clarify what's actually occurred here. That woman made that comment. There was nothing funny. There was nothing sarcastic about it. It said, finally, Islam is coming to New York. Dogs are unclean, and we should not have dogs as indoor pets. No reasonable interpretation could find that funny. Several days later, after millions of people had seen it, she tried to backtrack by saying that it was a joke. And my response was clearly in response to that. And you left out the important part of it. I said, if they force us to choose, I don't want to choose. If Muslims want to be in the United States and they want to practice their religion and go to mosque, that's great. But if they make us choose, as this woman would like us to, between owning a dog and having our neighbors say you can't have a dog, the choice is not a difficult one, I think, for me and the overwhelming majority of Americans. I think that's simple. I don't know how in this country, that's exactly what I said. Yeah. And I don't know how in this country we reach the point where not only do we have to let people come here, but we then have to change how we live.
$20 so it was just a joke, guys. Yeah, right. Geez, haven't heard that before. Yeah, I mean... It's funny how he made the point that Megyn Kelly, you know, Megyn Kelly's clearly bought out by Qatar. Clearly. People have pointed this out. Like, that's why she's been defending Tucker Carlson and shit, too. So, like, this is just a fucking joke, dude. Like, seriously. Oh my god, it's insane. How has the United States gone through, like, fucking 9/11? And then we're, like, acting as if, oh, Muslims are our friends, bring in more. We need more 9/11s. Like, I mean, it's just communist, retarded, brain rot horseshit. People are getting trained to, like, believe in this white guilt bullshit and be ashamed of their own culture and crap so that this crap happens and then the society is completely destroyed by nonsense.
Live in order to make them happy. I don't agree with that, and I'm not ashamed of saying it.
But you see, if only you had phrased yourself exactly how you've just phrased yourself, it wouldn't have caused half the outrage it caused. Because you qualified it by saying Muslims who hate... Well, no, you just qualified it by saying something you didn't actually say. You said Muslims who hate dogs or whatever. You qualified it. Actually, what you tweeted, and I'll repeat the whole thing in full. If they force us to choose, the choice between dogs and Muslims is not a difficult one. As Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez said about
Congratulations,
this is
you're
genuinely
damned.
one of the most disgusting statements I've ever seen issued by an American official. It should not stop shocking us that the Republican Party openly embraces this. Fines should be censored and stripped of committees. To ignore this is to accept and normalize it. Gavin Newsom, California governor, said, resign now, you
read
racist
Gavin Newsom's comment
slob.
already, Piers.
Dude, this isn't like it's a complete double standard. Again, it's right in the fucking Quran. Non-Muslims are below that of animals. So, why are we okay with Muslims hating us, thinking that we're below animals, which literally, like again, we slaughter animals, kill and eat them. So, like, they're literally saying, you know, it's fine to kill animals, but non-Muslims are below animals. So, like, you can just do whatever the fuck you want. Like, you're scum of the earth. It's fine for them to think that, but then when we say, we don't want your Muslim horse shit, get the fuck out, we're gonna have, like, pet dogs, fuck you. Racism, like, it's, I don't know if I can get through this whole fucking thing.
I think you've read it 3 times now. Look.
Okay,
But
hang on one second. Let me just finish my point. Ro Khanna said we must call this what it is, disgusting bigotry. Fine must be censored. It's about morality and decency, not politics. But then, crucially, as I said earlier, Megyn Kelly, who is a prominent conservative commentator,
I understand.
somebody who would never
said this
normally.
multiple times.
So hang on. No, I'm going to read a whole quote. Somebody who would never normally stand behind any of those three people said, "What I figured out, you pathetic, sweaty man, is when an idiot Muslim says no dogs in NYC, instead of attacking the person or the policy, you went full bigot. Fuck off," she said. Now, that's the truth. It's the way you phrase what you posted. Gave no equivocation,
Okay, so let me
no
ask you a
clarification,
question.
no
Let
qualification.
me ask
You
a
simply
question.
said dogs
No,
against
Piers,
Muslims.
Are you?
dogs.
I know it's your show, and I try to be respectful, but I'd like a chance to speak. What you didn't do is, in my post, I immediately posted the comment that I was responding to. So the context was there, and it was obvious for anyone who wanted to read it. The comment's not being made out of the blue. I'd also note, I'm not saying that Muslims or dogs are better than one or the other.
Dogs are better than Muslims. Last I checked, they don't want to kill non-believers. They're not in favor of raping children and child marriage. They don't fly planes into fucking buildings. They don't commit terror attacks. So, yeah. If I had to choose between saving dogs and saving Muslims, I'd save the fucking dogs any day of the week. What do you think of Joey Carbstrong mixed veganism with his propaganda against Israel? He's a fucking retard. Joey is like one of the dumbest motherfuckers I've ever fucking come across in my life.
I'm saying if you give me the choice where I can only have one, if you're going to tell me I have to change how I live, I choose to tell you to go home. And look, if people are upset about it, that's up to them. But the point remains true. I don't want to make that choice. And look, these people can lose their minds. AOC can go to Germany.
So let me ask you this.
It's
let me
a
ask
bunch
you.
of gibberish.
All right. So let me ask you this.
Okay,
let me ask you a question. What religion do you practice?
I am Jewish, and I would note this. I do not expect people to change how they live because I am part of a religious minority. I don't.
Fine. Okay, so would you say the same thing? If somebody posted, if they force us to choose, the choice between dogs and Jews is not a difficult one. How would you
That's a great question. Absolutely, yes. But the difference here is that Jews are not asking people to give up their dogs. Jews don't eat pork, but we don't tell people that they can't sell it. One of the things that people are learning through all of this is this dislike of dogs is not unique. This is a mainstream Islamic view. And I'm not criticizing it. Different religions like different animals. Hindus worship cows. Good for them. Muslims don't like dogs. That's okay. I'm not criticizing that. But they are the ones asking us to submit to their faith. And that's not okay in the United States of America. There are 57 countries where you can live under Sharia law. It's my job to make sure we don't become number 58.
Yeah, where did anybody say that you had to do this?
Make that post?
Like, what post are we fucking talking about? Like, what kind of fucking question is that?
I think you can make that argument.
Post doesn't say that.
Where did anyone say you to do what? I'm sorry.
Where have you got the entire Muslim population of 2 billion people saying that if the dogs all have to go? Where have I read that?
Piers, in Morocco, they're shooting $3 million in order to get ready for the World Cup. In Judea and Samaria, a mayor paid $5 a dog for everyone that was hunted down. The videos are out there. This is not, and again, I'm not criticizing it. You're allowed to not like an animal if that's part of your.
It's in the fucking Quran. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, it's just so retarded.
Your faith. I'm not criticizing that part of it. In your own country, there have been articles and discussions about Muslims not wanting dogs in certain parts of it. They are allowed to.
Don't you hate it when you gotta wipe like 50 times after pooping? Yeah, I fucking hate it. It sucks. Hopefully, we have that, thing like from Demolition Man, The 3 clamshells. Guess you could get a bidet. But yeah, that'd be cool in the future if they made it so you don't have to wipe or even use a bidet. Like just some weird, crazy future technology that just cleans your ass perfectly. Maybe laser beams could do it. Just have some like weird laser that like incinerates the poop on your ass but like leaves your skin alone.
Not like dogs. That's fine. But what they're not allowed to do is to come to my country and tell me I can't have one. And this woman is not unique in her views.
I've not seen any quote. Where did anybody say you couldn't have a dog?
Her tweet specifically says Islam is coming to New York City. Dogs are not clean. They should not be held as indoor pets. I mean, I think it's very clear what she is saying. And again, that is not a unique sentiment from many who share that faith.
Bizarre.
So I'm just saying, come here, live your life, live in privacy, hate dogs all you want. That's okay. Just don't tell me that I can't have one. Don't tell my constituents that I can't have one. And again, if I have to choose between having dogs, which are part of the fabric of the United States, 65% of households have one, and a group of people who want to come here and say, I can't have them, they can go home.
There's a big Ghost in the Shell exhibit in Japan. I haven't seen it. I've seen the big Gundam thing they have there. That looks really cool. And I know they are making a new Ghost in the Shell anime. It looks like it's like, at least from the art style, it looks like they're following the original manga more closely. The original manga was very different from the Ghost in the Shell movies and the series that ended up coming out. It was very lighthearted, very like anime tropey. And then when the movie came out, totally fucking different, even though the same like manga artist and everything was responsible for writing it. He just had a completely different vision for the anime, where it was like very serious, somewhat dystopian. So I don't know what it's going to be like, but the art style is definitely much more like the original manga with the way they're drawing Kusanagi.
To America means that you are going to assimilate into America, not that you're going to make a change for you.
Just to be clear, it was one Muslim who said she was joking, and it certainly read like a joke.
No.
And she didn't talk about.
Oh, cool. Yeah, just like how Nick Fuentes jokes about the fucking cookie analogy, and oh no, I actually believe the Holocaust happened. Oh, right. Oh, it was just a joke, guys. That. Hey, I'm gonna murder your whole fucking family. Oh, it's just a joke. Oh, why is everybody taking it so seriously? Like, fuck right off, dude. Like, we're playing this game.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. She didn't talk about you or your dog or anybody else's dog, right? And you decide to respond by branding all 2 billion.
The fuck? Like this is just the bit. Do we have to watch the rest of this? I'm just gonna skip to the part with Media-san. Like, this is just pure cope.
Well, the botched release of the Epstein files has tested the patience of many of Trump's most loyal supporters. For his fiercest critics, it's been a field day. Media-san, editor-in-chief of Zateo News, has broken world records for tweets per minute over the past few. Why, by the way? Just your response to Congressman Randy Fine, who basically thinks that if it comes to a choice between dogs and Muslims, he'll choose dogs. You've heard his explanation. What did you make of it?
I mean, it's a nonsense explanation, which...
Guess what? If all Muslims were to be eradicated and all dogs were left alive, the world would be a better place. You'd see less wars, less fucking killings, fewer fucking genocides, way less fucking terror attacks. You'd also see fewer child rapes. Like, everything would be fucking better. If you were to eradicate all dogs and leave the fucking Muslims, well, now you don't have these wonderful, beautiful, loyal fucking creatures to, keep you company and enrich your life. And you'll have all the shit that comes with Islam, the fucking child rape, child marriages, slavery, sex slavery, women being treated like fucking shit, beaten, having acid thrown on their fucking face, having no basic human rights, being forced to wear a fucking burqa and stay indoors. You'll see planes flown into fucking buildings, innocent people getting blown up by fucking terror attacks. You'll have fucking Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthis, all these fucking terrorist groups. So, gee, what would I choose? I don't know. Dogs or fucking horrible, sick, disgusting, degenerate fucking morons who support terrorism? What what I pick? I guess I'm fucking racist. You hate Muslims. You're a racist. Racism bad. Oh my god, dude. Like, when are we gonna get to a point where we're like, does anybody take this shit fucking seriously anymore? Like honestly, this fucking moral fagging, like, you're a racist. You're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to say you love all Muslims. Are we really taking this shit seriously, or is this like this just some like dumb boomer shit?
As you pointed out, he would never accept for any other minority group, including his own, including for Jewish people in the US. I'm glad you pushed him on his horrific bigotry. Although I would say that one thing that was missing from that interview was the context, right? Anyone watching Randy Fines for the first time might think it was just this one tweet that we're debating. This man has a long history of bigotry, Piers, as you know. A day before, he tweeted about picking dogs over...
Oh, long history of bigotry. This is the guy who said we should kill all homosexuals. Non-Muslims are lower than fucking animals. This guy also supported the October 7th terrorist attacks. You can see this guy's debate with that Jewish guy who I think was an ambassador to Israel or something at one point. He refused to put on the hostage return pin. This guy wanted all the fucking hostages that were taken by Hamas fucking killed. Like, this is one of the most disgusting, sick pieces of fucking filth on the fucking planet. And then here's the guy, he's racist. Yeah, you want fucking Jewish hostages murdered. You support fucking Hamas. Go fuck yourself. Like, I take anything you say seriously. If you love Muslims so much, why the fuck aren't you living in a fucking Muslim country? If Muslims are such great fucking people, then shouldn't you be happier in a fucking Muslim country? Oh, no, let me go to the fucking country where there's less Muslims. I wonder why. One of the countries with the fewest Muslim populations on earth. I'm gonna move there. Why the fuck are you living in the United States, you fucking idiot? Like, this is just such bullshit. It's retarded, nonsensical fucking bullshit. You hate Muslims and you're a fucking Muslim. If you love Muslims so much, you'd fucking move to Afghanistan or Pakistan or Saudi Arabia or whatever. But no, you move to a country with less Muslims because you can't fucking stand people who believe in your own fucking religion because they're crazy, insane fucking retards. And you know it.
Over Muslims, he tweeted Palestinian is a synonym
fucking
for
retarded.
Evil. All Palestinians are evil, according to him. In the past, he's called for the nuking of Gaza. He said starve away when people have talked about Palestinian children starving. He cheered and celebrated on Twitter when someone sent him a picture of a dead Palestinian baby, said thank you very much. The man is vile. He's racist. His rhetoric is genocidal. And he lied to you, Piers, when he said, I'm just against radical Muslims.
Like, I don't even have to watch this. Like, this is, like, who cares? I've said what I needed to say. This guy's just a fucking retard.
Inclusivity and compassion more than Scotty K. So you can imagine how shocking it was to find out he had been making fun of people for being disabled on his main account. But that was just the beginning. After posting the home address of one of his haters, Scotty's detractors unraveled a web of lies so huge that it spanned Scotty's entire life. Now, the once promising star of the fitness community has his reputation in the gutter, and it's unlikely that it will ever recover.
I've built this entire platform on inclusivity and kindness, and I lost sight of that in my own ego.
While he had already been making successful videos since mid-2024, Scotty really jump-started his online career the same way that many fitness influencers do, going after and mocking really low-hanging fruit. In his case, criticizing V-Shred. V-Shred is another fitness YouTuber who's been posting for about 10 years, and he became notorious for pushing completely baseless exercise advice. He quickly became one of the most hated people in the entire fitness community, to the point where it was very easy content to make fun of him.
One of the biggest mistakes for women who want to lose weight is eating cortisol triggering foods.
What? One of the biggest mistakes for women who want to lose weight. Cortisol? This is the problem. This is the problem.
While some
You know, like, anybody who has a mustache like this, you immediately know they're a fucking retard. Like,
people took issue with how
this is just one of the dumbest things I've ever fucking seen in my life. Imagine trying to eat soup with a mustache like this. Just eating a sandwich would be hard enough. Like, this guy literally can't eat anything with sauce on it. Soup. Like, what the fuck?
performative Scotty's reactions to V-Shred were, he ultimately was given a pass because what he was saying was true. V-Shred himself would continue to be a motif in his content to the point where the first autofill result on YouTube for Scotty K Fitness includes V-Shred right after. During the summer of 2025, Scotty became one of the most recognizable and beloved fitness creators on all of TikTok. Whereas many people in this genre are noticed purely for how jacked they are, Scotty had a few things to set him apart. Firstly, he has a giant mustache. Secondly, he had some serious life experience. He had been deployed to Afghanistan, he was a former police officer, a former firefighter, and he had spent some time working as a bounty hunter. All of this contributed to the sort of tough guy persona his brand was built on. But at the same time, he didn't take himself too seriously. He made silly cooking videos.
We're making meat pies. Pay attention. 100 grams of white onion in the bowl. 10 grams of garlic. It's fine. Get a skillet. Lightly spray with olive oil. Sweat your veggies. Why do you suck?
And he shared the more nerdy parts of his personality, like his obsession with Fallout. It went so far that his entire home gym theme was based on the game, and there was some actual substance to his content. He placed a large focus on progressive politics and being a sort of father figure for his audience. For example, in this video, he teaches them how to shave their face.
What's up, kid? Mind if we talk? I didn't have a dad to teach me how to shave growing up. Let's talk about it. Wash your face. You may spend a long time wondering what kind of man you're supposed to be without a father to guide you. And that's okay.
One of the top comments reads, "I'm a 25-year-old man finding comfort in this. I never had a father figure and have always felt lost." Between his weight loss and fitness journey posts, as well as his collaborations with other beloved fitness creators, he exploded in popularity, reaching 4 million followers on TikTok. He was so popular, in fact, that companies began sponsoring him, including Rise, a well-known energy drink company.
Kool-Aid.
But Scotty had a problem on his
Black
hands.
people
You
flavor.
see, if you build an audience by doing whatever that audience would want or expect you to do, you sort of lock yourself into pandering to them. Eventually, you may find yourself doing things out of your comfort zone, just for the fact that you think your audience will like you more for it. Of course, this tends to lead certain content creators into making unwise decisions. And that's how Scotty took the first step toward his ultimate downfall. As a reaction to the recent shootings involving ICE, he decided to make a video to denounce ICE, Donald Trump, and anyone who supports them, which got almost 30 million views on TikTok. While Scotty had always been somewhat left-leaning, making an outright political statement like this did come out of left field for many. Whether you agree with him or not ultimately doesn't matter. What matters is that this attracted him some level of negative attention from those who did disagree, one of them being Runvis Coaching, who brought a new piece of information about Scotty to the public.
You're clearly very amped up about what you deem an excessive response to something that was not that problematic. But if that's the case, shouldn't you be consistent with that across everything? So say somebody said you looked like a gay guy, and then you doxed him, his job, his address, and his entire family. Would that be something that was too excessive?
Runvis's claim here is obviously extremely serious, and if he hadn't provided proof, it's likely he would have had a serious problem on his hands. But as it turns out, he did have the original video of Scotty archived.
Really? He doxed his entire family for calling him gay looking. Wow, what a... Jeez, what a fucking soft-ass beta male.
Scotty opens by saying that he has no problem with receiving hateful remarks, as it's something every creator deals with. What he says he does have an issue with is homophobia. He then highlights a comment reading, "You look like the gay brother on Ozarks that gets pounded by the FBI agent." But what Scotty does next is undoubtedly over the line.
And something else you may not know is that I'm a former bounty hunter. So, welcome to Real Life Consequences. Your middle name is... You were born in September of... The last four digits of your phone number are...
This guy is probably a narcissist like Frank. Frank does similar shit where he doxes people who annoy him. He probably has narcissistic personality disorder.
You're a journeyman welder at your UA local... You've been there since February... And hey, that's some pretty good money, which probably is how you afforded that...
Like, by the way, if his excuse is he doesn't like homophobia, this is really, really low tier shit to go after if you have an issue with homophobia. Like, why isn't this guy going on, like going after Muslim or Christian apologists who are like some of the most homophobic fucking people on the planet? Like Andrew Wilson, like all the people who kind of orbit him, all those Christian nationalists, like they're some of the most homophobic, like crazy fucking whack jobs I've ever seen. A lot of the Muslim apologists are even worse. They just straight up say that gay people should be fucking murdered. Like, why isn't this guy going after those people? But some dude who says, you look like the gay guy on a TV show that I watch. Like, really?
3-bed, 2-bed.
So this is like narcissistic injury that he doesn't know how to deal with. So he just lashes out like a fucking a child.
House suffer right across from the where your HOA dues are around $264 a month. It's pretty pricey.
This video is titled Real Life Consequences, a phrase that would soon become bitterly ironic. The fact that a simple mean comment was enough for him to post the address of this commenter, where the man's children also live, was seen.
I don't even understand how that's a mean comment. If somebody like said that I look like a gay dude who's like having gay sex on some TV show, chances are that means you're fairly good looking. Like, a lot of gay dudes are really good looking, and the reason they're good looking is because they have to be good looking in order to get laid. Like, men are extremely visual, and they care how you look. That's why, like, gay dudes are always in, like, really good shape, work out, have a six-pack, well-groomed, like, dress well. Like, that's the only way they're gonna get attention from dudes. So, like, if somebody says, you look like a gay guy at a TV show, it's like, oh, so I'm good looking, thanks. It's like fucking Scooby 1968 or whatever. That guy. Like, yeah, he's gay. And he looks fucking amazing, especially for his age. Like, he's worked out his whole life and shit. I'm going to be offended at that.
As a few steps too far. While it's not exactly a call to action, Scotty did have a lot of followers to whom he broadcast all of the.
Did you see Andrew Janik get de-wigged in public? Yeah, it's probably fake. He fakes his public interactions all the time.
This guy's information, as he simultaneously calls him a homophobe. And the worst part is that, although this is the most high-profile instance of Scotty doxing someone, it wasn't the only time he had done it. During that same month, January of 2026, just a few days later, someone in his comment section said, "All that mustache and still uses pronouns," with a clown emoji. Scotty responded, firing back with an insult at first. But 14 minutes later, he posted this commenter's full name, along with even more information. Found you, paralyzed from the chest down with a failed YouTube and an obsession with four-wheelers and motocross. I wonder how you sustained a spinal cord injury. Drifting in the snow looked fun though. This comment officially broke through Scotty's persona. Now, not only was he doxing his critics, he was also making fun of said person with that information for being a paraplegic. Multiple times, Scotty had gone out of his way to make videos with his disabled sibling, Wesley, wherein one of the main focuses was statements about how bad it was to marginalize people with disabilities. Stop using the R word, he writes. Here's why. Most people use that word to describe them or someone else being stupid without stopping to consider how harmful and hurtful.
Yeah, this guy is a fucking weenie. Holy crap. I love how, like, obviously, it's this kind of guy. I was in the military. I was a cop. I fucking firefighter. I'm this like fucking bounty hunter alpha male. And then, the R word is hurtful. Ugh, don't say the R word. Okay. Yeah. You know, like when you hear shit like this and like they tell you this backstory of, I used to like fucking hunt and shoot people for a living and I'm this like fucking alpha male. There's no chance. This guy is probably a complete and utter fucking fraud. Like that, it just never happens. You're never gonna find a guy who served in the military, was actually in fucking combat, is fine with like shooting and killing people, and then worked as like a cop, firefighter, bounty hunter, like, you know, alpha male Chad shit, and then the R word, like, it just doesn't happen. So he's probably lying about a lot of the stuff he did. He probably never like saw combat, probably had some like shitty, dumb desk job in like some small town or something with really little crime when he was a cop. Never, like, just never did anything, because there's just no chance. Dodo donated $2, so it looks like the UK will help the US after all. Let me see. As the U.S. looks poised to attack Iran, Britain's Royal Air Force has once again deployed a Beechcraft Shadow R1 airbase Cyprus. Planes are deployed through the Gaza genocide to convict. Continues to support U.S. terror, right? Yeah. But they won't talk about Iran's terror. Yeah. Fucktard. They need to be fucking jailed. White House inside source tells John Kirkwood Trump has decided to attack Iran Monday or Tuesday. Good.
I have a friend, former CIA officer, who was at the White House this morning talking to his friends, and he says that a decision has been made to attack Iran on Monday or Tuesday. The president...
I have a funny feeling if this is true, his friend shouldn't have told him that, and he definitely shouldn't have said that publicly.
Yesterday gave the Iranians 10 days to accept our proposals for an end to their ballistic missile program, an end to their uranium enrichment program, an end to supporting groups in the Middle East like Hamas and Hezbollah and the Houthis. But he's done this before. Well, he'll give you 10 days, he'll give you 2 weeks, and then he'll just attack 2 days into it.
Yeah, this sounds extremely irresponsible if this is true. Like, if I had a friend who was in the CIA and he was a dumbass and he told me, like, war plans that probably shouldn't be getting leaked, like, I'd have the wherewithal and sense and, like, you know, just duty to my country to, like, not share that, even though my friend's a fucking idiot. But yeah, it looks like Iran's going to get clapped. Tucker gets clapped in debate.
But I would also say that when you said the Christians were kicked out, Tucker, Christianity is growing in Israel.
Okay.
And there is a big lie that goes out there. But no, let me finish this because I keep hearing that Christians are really not treated well in Israel. That's just simply, that's a lie.
That's bullshit.
It is a lie.
There are lots of different...
There were 34,000 Christians in Israel in 1948. There are 184,000 Christians here today.
And by Israel, what are you counting?
You talking about the land?
What territory are you counting?
I'm talking about
Israel proper? Or are you counting?
Are you able to use a map?
Counting
about Israel
the West
proper?
Bank as well and Gaza? I mean, what do you, when you say Israel, those numbers apply to what landmass?
It would be in...
There's practically zero Christians in the West Bank and in Gaza. The only Christians that really exist in the West Bank are crazy, dumb bitch, middle-aged women who ended up going to the West Bank and getting married to some, like, idiot Muslim man because, like, somehow they weren't able to find any man that was interested in them in, like, the UK or Denmark or wherever the fuck they're from. Like, that's pretty much the only Christians that exist there.
In Israel proper,
okay,
there are 184,000. Now, I'll tell you
Gaza,
where
it's like 3.
Christians are not doing very well. They're not doing very well in the Muslim-controlled countries. There's almost no Christians in Qatar, for example, except those who live in the Christian ghetto, who are the service workers.
I'm sorry. Look, I don't want to argue with you. There are many more Christians.
Uh-oh. This is going to make his daddies in Qatar angry. Oh, he's got to stop this conversation real quick.
In Qatar than there are in Israel.
That's not true.
It actually is true. And I refer you to Wikipedia, Mr. Ambassador.
Wikipedia.
I refer you to the government of Qatar, the government of Israel. These are knowable facts. Like I'm in Jordan, by the way.
The numbers are down. In Syria, the numbers are down. In Lebanon, the numbers are down. I'm just telling you that
about twice as many Christians.
But they live in the enclave. They are not native Qataris.
Okay, we're mixing so many different categories here. I'm just saying I get things wrong all the time. You've just gotten something wrong, and I think it's important to acknowledge it. There are many more Christians in Qatar than there are in Israel. Fact.
How many?
Now you caught me. I don't know. I can look at my phone.
Yeah, okay. The guy who is famous for saying, "You don't know the number? Shouldn't you know that?" Like Who was he debating before? The one senator, Ted Cruz. He asked Ted Cruz, what is the population of Iran? And then Ted Cruz didn't know. And he's like, you don't know the population of Iran? Shouldn't you know that? Like, and then he's playing this off as, oh, you caught me. I don't know. What a bitch.
But I was just there, and there are many more, like, whatever.
Oh my God. I fucking hate Tucker Carlson. What a fucking asshole. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Sorry to change the topic, but isn't it so fucking annoying when smaller, weaker guys tell you your exercise is useless because you have the slightest amount of body English?
Oh, yeah, yeah. They can have fun, doing their rows, with perfect form and, I do my rows parallel to the ground and I don't move my back and you're doing it wrong. Oh my God, when you're doing your row with 300 pounds, you're like, it's almost like an upright row. You're doing it wrong. Yeah, I love hearing that. Thanks for the donation, Susscuck. Dodo donate $2. Let me see. Afghanistan, women are banned from working, but not from begging in the cold while men walk with full freedoms. Yeah. Western feminists don't know how good they have it. You're goddamn right about that. Oh, boy. Fucking crazy in the year 2026. That shit's going on. Scroll down, watch the video. Let me see. Let's see.
The current president of Israel, current president, who I know you know, President Herzog,
knowing very well,
apparently was at Pedo Island. That's what it says in the disclosures. And of course, we know that the former prime minister, Ehud Barak, was living on and off at Epstein's house. So still living, high-level Israeli officials are directly implicated in Epstein's life, if not.
By the way, in all likelihood, the Epstein stuff is overblown. It seems what was going on is Epstein, just like every other fucking heterosexual man on the fucking planet, prefers young women. And he was a little careless when it came to hiring prostitutes, and some of these women who were acting as prostitutes, they lied about their age. Some of them were like 16 or 17 or some shit, and they said they're 18. Whoopee fucking diddly do. Oh, okay. Pedo Island. You had sex with like a 17-year-old who claimed they were 18, and 17 is the legal age of consent in most states anyway.
Not his crime, so I would think that you'd be following this.
Only, I was not aware that there was any connection with President Herzog. I would be surprised to hear that, and I knew there was about the former prime minister, who apparently had a lot of dealings with Epstein.
Business dealings, and by the way, I'm not alleging anything, but I mean, it's in the Epstein files, and I don't know that I've heard the current president of Israel respond to it, but he is listed as a visitor to Pedo Island, so that's kind of a big deal. I wonder, considering there are so many suggestions in the files, as I'm sure you know, of sexual abuse, and given that Jeffrey Epstein was a convicted sex offender, I wonder why the administration you work for would be holding millions of files, which I believe belong to the public, hidden for, quote, national security reasons. What would those national security reasons be, do you think?
Honestly, I think you've probably got more access to the White House sometimes than I do. You should ask them.
There's literally no evidence that Ghislaine Maxwell had like anything to do with like recruiting girls or anything. Like all this bullshit's overblown. She had some stupid sham trial, and the jury, there were at least 2 jury members, probably 3, that lied on the jury form, which would, in any normal circumstance, completely like disqualify the case. They'd get a retrial. But because this is so politicized, there's no political interest in making sure she gets a fair trial, so she kind of got fucked over. And again, all the charges relating to Jeffrey Epstein were related to prostitution and prostitution with somebody under the age of 18. That's it. It was nothing to do with pedophilia. It was nothing to do with forced, like, human trafficking or anything. And the women who are claiming that they're human trafficked and they're forced to do all this shit, they're all liars. They literally have no evidence for their claims. A lot of the shit they're saying is verifiably fucking false. And again, you know, supposedly there were hundreds, if not thousands, of victims. Well, guess what? The FBI was only able to find 4 fucking women who were, like, good enough witnesses to go in front of a grand jury. 4 out of what are claimed to be over 1,000 fucking victims. So how is it that you have, like, over 1,000 fucking victims of human trafficking? They're forced to do all this shit, but somehow they were only able to find 4 witnesses that were even remotely credible. Like, it's just... I could be wrong. Like, there's some cover-ups and shit going on. Like, there's a lot of people who don't want certain information to come out, and it's probably because some of the stuff is a little embarrassing. Like, there's a good chance Trump had sex with a 17-year-old prostitute. He probably doesn't want that, you know, going out into the public. But, like, the reality is, based on what we know right now, it seems more likely to be the case that this is just overblown fucking nonsense. And these girls willingly went to the Epstein Island thing. A lot of them lied about their age because they thought this would be an easy way to get some easy money. Some of them were willing to commit sex acts because, again, they were just interested in money and they don't care about being... I could go on a whole fucking rant. Like every fucking... Like, just about every fucking woman has committed prostitution, okay? The amount of women who are willing to date dudes who make money for their money, like that's prostitution. So yeah, these girls just saw an easy way to fucking make money. Some of them lied about their age. They're like 16 or 17. And they just claimed they're 18 because they thought it would be an easy way to make money. Doesn't seem like any of them were forced to do anything they weren't willing to do. Some of them did perform sex acts because they figured it would make them more money. And none of the fucking witnesses that have come forward have said anything about being raped or tortured or fucking anything. And the only ones that have, like, they're just verifiably lying. They're full of shit.
Well, but you're the government official representing that White House.
In Israel.
Like, even the FBI
and I
doesn't take them
represent
seriously.
the U.S. in Israel to the Israeli government from the U.S. government, but honestly, nobody has presented that to us.
Well, now
we have
that
a
you
pretty
know that
dynamic situation here. I don't know if you know that or not, but there's a lot going on in this part of the world, and frankly, that has not been top line item.
But you're surprised to hear that the current president of Israel, whom you know, is listed as a visitor to Pedo Island.
Had never heard that. Never heard it even in the Israeli press.
Are you going to ask him next time you see him?
I'll be happy to. Talk to him almost every week.
Oh my God. Tucker Carlson's an idiot. Oh. Oh my God. Oh. Oh. Wow. Oh my goodness. Funny watching cats do stuff. Oh, a bee. Oh, a bumblebee. That's so adorable. Oh my God, I love cats. Oh my God. Wow, that was an amazing kitty adventure. Oh my God, that is good. Honestly, really happy I voted for Carney. Oh my god. Yeah, just wait a few more years. We'll see what people say about that. He's literally doing, like, he's keeping Canada on the shithole trajectory. They're lying. He's lied about every single campaign promise he's made. The immigration reforms, total bullshit. There haven't been substantive enough immigration reforms. They're still letting in retarded, useless fucking immigrants. A lot of these people are basically refusing to work, and they're just just handing out free fucking money. It's insane. He's claimed that he's going to reduce the cost of housing. Then, literally right after he got elected, his own housing minister said they're not going to do anything to reduce the cost of housing. It's just all lies. Again, they're claiming they're going to help the Canadian economy by removing things like trade barriers. That's what every fucking party was committed to doing anyway. It's just fucking retarded. So basically, you're just voting for a political party that is trying to turn the country into a fucking shithole just to enrich some of the wealthiest corporations. And they're taking away your basic fundamental human rights, like right to self-defense, by banning all these fucking weapons just arbitrarily for fucking no reason, while emboldening criminals. Again, there's a massive fucking increase in carjackings and home invasions. And just shootings. And then, yeah, when the country's less safe, there's more criminals on the street who are victimizing people. Let's take away everybody's guns. They're the most scumbag, fucking useless pieces of shit. Fucking hate the liberals. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo. Dodo donated $2, code pink nonsense. UK, US bases, Cyprus, how we shut them down. Go fuck yourself, Code Pink. Look at these dorks thinking they're doing something. As soon as the CCP collapses, none of these people are going to be doing shit. All that CCP money is going to dry up and they're going to be fucking gone like ghosts. You're not going to hear fucking anything from them ever again as soon as that CCP money dries up. Code Pink retweeted this when it was 75% saying no. Do you want a US-led war with Iran? Oh... That is fucking hilarious. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Dodo donated $2. Russia's once again attempting to rewrite history. Gulag History Museum Moscow will be renamed the Museum of Memory. Dedicated to the memory of the genocide of the Soviet people, brutal repressions carried out by Soviet authorities, will focus on Nazi war crimes. Oh boy. Yeah, Russia is not going in a good direction. That is terrifying. Genuinely fucking terrifying. Tucker Carlson endorsed eugenics, called for all Jews to be made to take a DNA test. The eugenics thing is so, politicized. Everyone's in favor of eugenics, by the way. And we have eugenics policies. So first off, sexual selection itself is a form of eugenics. There's a reason why humans are the ape species with the largest penis. It's because of sexual selection. So human women prefer men with larger penises. That's why humans have the biggest penises out of any ape species. Same with height. Women prefer taller men. They prefer masculine traits like muscularity and shit. So and again, men prefer younger women who are pretty, have wide hips, big boobs. That's why, again, humans have the biggest breasts out of any ape species. Sexual selection. So it's a form of, and sexual selection probably played a huge role in intelligence as well. Like, that's why we're the most intelligent ape species. So sexual selection itself is a form of eugenics. Secondly, we literally employ eugenics practices to this day. You can go to a sperm bank. Sperm banks will not take your sperm if you're under 6 feet tall, if you don't have a college degree, and if you make under a certain amount of money. And they also screen for genetic diseases. So if you have some history of disease in your family, like, they won't accept your sperm. That's a eugenics practice. Why are they screening out for genetic diseases, height, money, like income, college degree? So, like, that's basically the best proxy they can use for IQ. That's a eugenics practice. It's also illegal to have kids with siblings or close relatives. Like, again, that's a eugenics practice. So supporting eugenics is fine. We all support eugenics. And called for all Jews to be made to take a DNA test during his shocking interview. That's like the most retarded fucking shit. He's basically promoting the fucking conspiracy theory that Henry Ford promoted, where he published the International Jew. Like, this guy is just such a rabid anti-Semite. Tucker said he wants there to be a full genetic test of everybody who lives in Israel to prove whose Abraham's descendants are. Oh my God. Only the craziest Jew haters play this game, accusing Ashkenazi Jews of not being real Jews. Yeah, it's literally Henry Ford's fucking International Jew.
Abram's descendants are the ones who have the right to have this land, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't we do genetic testing on everybody in the land and find out who Abram's descendants are? It's really simple. We've cracked the human genome. We can do that. Why don't we do that? Would you be against doing that?
I have no idea what that would prove. I mean,
Really?
maybe it would be.
What do you mean? It would prove who Abram's descendants are and who has a right to live here and who doesn't, according to the theology that you.
What country has to take a genetic test of every single citizen to be allowed to be a country?
Yourself just explained. And so I'm very confused.
Yeah, let's do a genetic test of everybody living in America, and if you don't have genetic ancestry of any Indian tribes, you're gonna be forced to leave. Like, it's just so fucking retarded.
Confused as to why we don't do that. If you believe the theology that you've just explained to me.
Would we do that all over the world?
Well,
and everybody
this is the only country in the
Brits?
world that you've said has this covenant with God, that this people have a moral and legal right to the land.
What about people who convert to Judaism? Would they have a right?
Well, I
Well,
literally just acknowledged your comment. What are you talking about?
You've just said
I mean,
that
there are
it's not
converts to Judaism, so
you just told
they
me,
can make Aliyah. They may not have
You've just
DNA.
told me that it doesn't matter.
There's so much wrong with this. Just so much wrong. So, yeah, Tucker's just an anti-Semite. He just hates Jews. Somali community in Minnesota demanding reparations over ICE trauma. Oh, boy.
Relief programs fits into our criteria of small business owners, not those who make $200,000 and above. We don't make that much amount. And we have been suffering since the crisis of ICE. We also demand an immediate help to evictions so families are not pushed to homelessness during the crisis. Our community deserves accountability. Our community deserves safety. We need also justice for those who lost their lives defending the community. Relief programs.
Seems like a lot of Somalis just want free money.
Of course they are.
So the death of a Palestinian is every bit as important and significant as the death of Israel.
Why wouldn't it be? Of course it is.
I don't know.
Of course it is. There's no such thing as a human soul that God made that is less valuable than another. I'm pro-life.
Me too.
So I believe that every life has intrinsic worth and value. There's no such thing as a worthless.
Yeah, I totally disagree with that.
Or a completely disposable life. That's
Right.
what makes me pro-life, Tucker.
I totally agree.
And I believe.
Do testosterone levels affect your sympathy for animals? Well, last I checked, most women aren't vegan and most men aren't vegan, and there's not a huge delta between the two. So there doesn't seem to be a correlation between testosterone and empathy for animals. And last I checked, my testosterone was over 4,000, and I'm still vegan, so.
That from the conception until the end of natural life.
That's why I would never say when confronted with the death of children, war is terrible, because it minimizes the deaths of those children. It's awful. And
I don't think it minimizes. I think it is
War is
outrageous. It's a terrible thing. I wish we never had war. Why do we have war?
We're about to have one with Iran, it looks like. How many Americans do you think will die in that war?
I hope none. None died last year when we participated in the 12-day war. Not one.
My
You
sense
said
is-
20,000 would die, and they didn't.
I said could, and they could have. And
But
they
they
could die now, and that's a real risk.
How many boots on the ground do you think the U.S. has supplied for Israel over the course of its life? How many times have we put soldiers on the ground for Israel?
Well, we had the Iraq War, which was for Israel.
No,
I
it
think
wasn't
it's
for Israel.
Oh my God.
How was it for us?
Well, because it was a retribution against 9/11. Now, was it the best idea?
Was
It was
Iraq
not for-
involved in 9/11?
Our government thought so.
Why are 9/11 documents still classified?
I have no idea.
Should they be unclassified?
I think so.
All of them, right?
I have no problem with that.
Me too.
I like transparency. I like
Tucker's
sunlight.
such a
I do.
piece of
I hope you'll
shit.
call for
I
that.
like free press.
This guy just, like, he's just not falling for any of Tucker's bullshit.
I like free speech.
I totally agree.
I like all of that.
But if there was no connect, I've never seen, I'm open to anything, but I've never seen any connection between the government of Saddam Hussein, the secular Ba'athist government of Saddam Hussein, and
You argued from Crom strength alpha, yet that doesn't fit your own morals. That fits more toxic Otis views, not empathic. Yeah, that's not true. Morals are an invention of the mind that beholds them. So if you have certain moral views, they don't come from God, they don't come from Sky Santa or anyone else, they come from you. And if you want to create a world that fits your own moral values, then you have to impose that on others. And you do that through strength. Strength of mind, strength of body. You can argue with people. You can use diplomacy. You can make arguments for why somebody should agree with you. And when that fails, well, that's why guns exist. That's why we have machine guns. That's why we have nuclear bombs. So I don't know I don't know how the idea of Crom is somehow completely and utterly incompatible with a vegan ethic. It's not in any way. You're an idiot.
the terror attacks of 9/11.
I don't know that there were. I don't know.
Right. So
I'm not sure, but I don't know how.
So
why was that Israel's fault?
Well, Benjamin Netanyahu, now prime minister, of course, exerted lots of pressure openly on the U.S. government to regime change the Saddam government. I was there. It was in Washington, and they complied. I don't think there's any way to read it.
Do you think Israel leads the U.S. and pushes them and tells them what to do?
Well, not on everything, of course.
Do you think? What do
I
they
think. Let me
push
be
them on?
specific.
Okay.
I think the Israeli government strongly pushed the United States to take out Saddam Hussein. There's no question about that. I think the Israeli government right now, under Bibi Netanyahu, who's been in the White House 7 times in 1 year, pushing for regime change in Iran. I think they're on the verge of convincing this administration to affect regime change.
You think the
in
president is weak and is being put?
Machine guns solve a lot of problems. There was a mass shooting today in America. Yeah, well, guess what? As far as I'm aware, there's close to 0 mass shootings in the United States that have been committed with a machine gun. There might literally be 1 or 2. It's close to 0. So machine guns have been regulated since like the early 1910s. They basically put a tax on machine guns basically to prevent black people from owning them. That was the idea behind the machine gun regulations. Luckily, it was just an arbitrary tax. I think it was $300 or something. It wasn't based on some percentage of the value of the gun or anything like that. So it's been $300 ever since then. And today, that's like a trivial amount of money. And then in the 1980s, they made machine guns illegal unless they're transferable. So no new machine guns can be sold. And as a result, they're remarkably fucking expensive. You're spending tens of thousands of dollars for a transferable machine gun. That makes it completely like impractical for anybody who has an interest in committing mass shooting to commit a mass shooting with a machine gun. So, as far as I'm aware, there's close to zero. It may, like, there may be one or two or something that were committed way long ago. Like, I'm sure there's some gangsters or something that have, like, back in the 30s that had a Thompson machine gun who had a shootout with cops or something. But there's close to zero that have ever been committed with a machine gun. And why don't you ask all the fucking Jews that were liberated from death camps what they think about fucking guns? I think they're a big fan of fucking guns because guess what? They saved Jews from the fucking Nazis. They saved political dissidents from the Nazis. They saved Europe from the fucking Nazis. So, no, guns are great. They help protect the innocent. And guess what? I don't know what fucking point you're trying to make. Like, bad people invent weapons and use them. Yeah, that's why good people need to have access to those weapons to stop the bad people. Fucking just gay retarded shit.
Pushed. I'm not saying that. I know. Well, I know the president's being pushed. Why do you think a foreign leader was in the White House 7 times in 1 year?
I'd love to see this. I'd love to put this motherfucker in a fucking death camp, and then have it get like liberated by American soldiers or something, and then have him say, "Guns are bad. How could you do this? Guns don't solve any problems. You should have just let me be forced into a gas chamber." Like, you're a bitch. You're a fucking idiot bitch.
Are you okay with that? That's a lot.
Israel is not just a friend or an ally. It is a real partner. We have an incredible relationship with Israel in intelligence and in military, in culture, in values. To be shocked that the Israeli prime minister would have that many meetings, it's a lot. But I want to ask you the question. Do you think President Trump is weak enough to let Bibi Netanyahu push him into something that he doesn't want to do?
I don't. Look, I think, and I don't know, of course, the answer to every question, including this one, but I think the President Trump really
everything he says is just such a blatant, outright lie.
Doesn't like nuclear.
But you can just tell by the tone of his voice, the way he acts. Everything that comes out of his mouth is a fucking lie. I can't stand Tucker.
Clear proliferation, and I don't think he wants Iran to have a bomb. I think he really sincerely means
I hope
that.
you don't want them to have a bomb.
Want them to have a bomb? I don't want anyone to have a bomb, including Israel. I don't know why we're okay with Israel having nuclear weapons. I'm not. I'm not okay with Pakistan having them. I'm not okay with Saudi having them. Israel's nuclear weapons were...
Like, this is some of the most idiotic, retarded fucking horseshit imaginable. I don't want anybody to have a nuclear bomb. Oh, so you want your enemies to basically be on an even footing with you? Like, would you not? Well, this guy is a literal Nazi. He would have preferred fucking Germany winning the war. But, like, the idea that it was a bad idea for the United States to make a nuclear bomb, like, you're a fucking idiot.
Created, of course, with nuclear material stolen from the United States, from a nuclear plant in Pennsylvania, as I know you know. I'm opposed to all of it. I don't like nuclear weapons. It's mass murder, as far as I'm concerned. So, no, I don't want Iran to have a bomb, obviously. The question is...
Like, People overblow. The nuclear arsenal thing is so fucking overblown. It's just unreal. People talk about the bombing of Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Like, first of all, I think they were given 2 weeks notice before the bombs were even dropped. They told the Japanese to evacuate because they're going to use a new type of weapon that's going to just massacre fucking everybody. So they were told to fucking leave before the bombs were dropped. They were given at least a week. It might have been 2 weeks. I can't quite remember, but it was at least a week. Fewer people died in the bombings of Nagasaki and Hiroshima than just the conventional bombings of fucking Tokyo. More people died in the fire bombings of fucking Tokyo than in Nagasaki or Hiroshima. Like it's just so fucking retarded.
What are the potential costs? And you have to factor that into any decision. And
what are the costs if they were to get a nuclear bomb? They've said for 47 years, death to America.
Well,
Jesus laid down his own life, bore sins of the world on himself. No, he was a fucking crazy retard who pissed a bunch of people off, and he thought he was going to be the new emperor of mankind, and then he whined like a little bitch when he found out he was a delusional idiot. And if Jesus really wanted to help humanity, he would have done more good by telling people to use soap. Soap would have saved more fucking lives than Jesus spouting whatever fucking bullshit and nonsense he spewed. The amount of people who have died due to and suffered horribly due to infectious disease that could have been prevented by using fucking soap and just basic sanitation. But is there any mention of Jesus telling people to use soap in the fucking Bible? Like, if he really had an interest, like, apparently Jesus is literally God. He's this all-knowing, powerful fucking deity, and supposedly he came down to Earth to help humanity. Why the fuck didn't he tell people to just use soap? Well, it's because he's a fucking retarded idiot who lived in the fucking middle of the desert, who probably suffered from, like, schizophrenia or something, and he convinced himself that he was going to be the new leader of humanity and build this, like, new fucking kingdom. And then, it turns out that wasn't the case. He got crucified and killed. That's why he was whining like a little fucking retard on the cross. Why have you forsaken me? Congratulations, you're banned. Go fucking wash your hands after you fucking take a shit, dumbass.
I don't think
they target us.
I don't think Israel's...
They've targeted President Trump specifically.
Yeah, I mean,
they've hired a person to assassinate him.
Iran, BBC, and Hamas not defending him.
Good.
All I'm saying
we're in agreement on that.
I want.
Tucker, what a fucking dumbass. Is that all of them, or why do you want me to watch this one video and then you keep sending me all this other shit?
Yeah.
Illegal migrant staring into her home through her window and banging on her door.
He's just knocking on the door and making really weird noises and he's freaking us out. No, he's just
crazy.
Yeah, cultural enrichment. Like, by the way, like, when they tell you, when they tell you the story of, oh, we need this immigration because there's like not enough people in the workforce, and then they bring over people like this. Do you think this guy has a fucking high school, like even a high school level education? Like, no, this is a fucking crazy crack addict from like fucking like Northern Africa or some shit. This is, I don't even know what this is. It's just like, it's communist brain rot. So the left-wing parties in all these countries have been influenced by Chinese propaganda where, oh, we need to help the rest of the world. We need to bring in all these refugees and help them. Like, that's what the idea is. It's ideological. it's not motivated by any rational thought where, oh, well, there's a deficit in the workforce and we need to bring over people who can work in trades or something. This guy is a fucking migrant who probably got some like bullshit refugee status, and he's not even a fucking real refugee. He just heard, oh, they're giving you free money if you move to the UK, and then he's just like fucking bullshitted his way into the country. There was a news story in fucking Canada, and I think this like blows the lid on all of this. There's a big shortage of doctors in Canada, especially in provinces outside of Ontario. There's a huge fucking deficit in doctors. So like British Columbia is one of the worst, huge shortage of doctors. Quebec is really bad too. Some of the Midwestern provinces, they have a huge shortage of doctors. But even Ontario, I think there's an average like 10-year wait list to get a family doctor. Well, guess what? There was a doctor who I think was from some country in Europe. He tried to immigrate to Canada. He's a doctor. He's been working as a doctor in Canada while trying to get his permanent residence and citizenship. They rejected his permanent residence after living in the country and working as a doctor for 5 fucking years. But they'll let in random fucking assholes who don't even work. There are people that are getting brought in from like Northern Africa who have not gotten a fucking job in years, who are given free housing, and like they get all the social benefits of living in Canada too. So they also get they're benefiting from the social health care program. They're being given free money to like buy food and shit. They're doing nothing. Like they're completely and utterly unproductive, and they're literally leeching from the system. They're a net negative being here. But they reject the fucking doctor who's been working as a doctor for 5 fucking years and reject his permanent residence request. They don't want useful, productive people to get into the fucking country. They want crazy fucking retards like this because there's a bunch of white guilt, fucking retarded, communist brain rot fucking morons who think they're committing some fucking moral good by bringing these fucking loser, crazy, worthless retards here to leech off the fucking system. It's entirely ideologically motivated. Dodo donate $2. Israel wouldn't do this if something big weren't coming. They are preparing. Preemptive blow to Hezbollah missile leadership. Overnight, the IDF struck multiple Hezbollah missile headquarters. Yeah, they're gonna clap Iran. It sounds like they're gonna clap Iran hard. Again, there's all this bullshit about them trying to negotiate with Iran. I think they're stalling so that they could get some more intelligence on where the Ayatollah is and shit. It seems like they're just going to completely fucking obliterate Iran's leadership. The Israeli Air Force obliterated Hezbollah's entire missile command structure last night. Yeah, they're gonna clap some fucking cheeks. He sounds Canadian. Let me see. Oh yeah, drink glyphosate.
I do not believe that glyphosate in Argentina is causing increases in cancer. You can drink a whole quart of it and it won't hurt you.
You want to drink some? We have some here.
I'd be happy to, actually, but not really. But
not really.
I know it wouldn't hurt me.
If you say so, I have some glyphosate.
No, I'm not stupid.
Okay. So you.
No, but I know
so it's dangerous.
I know.
Right?
No, people try to commit suicide with it and fail fairly regularly.
Tell the truth.
It's not dangerous to humans. No, it's not.
So you're ready to drink one?
I mean, that literally means nothing. There are people who try to murder other people with fucking arsenic and it fails regularly. That doesn't mean arsenic is safe.
A glass of
no,
glyphosate?
I'm not an idiot. Interview me about golden rice. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, then it's finished. Then the interview is finished.
That's a good way to solve things.
Yeah. Here.
Glyphosate in some concentration of exposure is likely harmful. It's hard to tell exactly like how bad it is, but like I kind of had the opinion before that it was completely safe, but I looked into it. Actually, all the safety data on it is completely nonsense. It's literally bullshit that the industry paid for, and like they basically fibbed a lot of the research. So it may be dangerous. There's just no good research on it. And it's like the company is hiding data and putting out bullshit research because they're not confident that it's safe. So it is like there is a chance that in some concentration of exposure that it is actually harmful and it may actually contribute to some cancers. Thanks for the donation though, Dodo.
Hey bud, I recall you said it's hard for you to resist making a Tinder profile but haven't done so yet. I went ahead and made a sample one for you. You ain't getting any pussy, I guarantee you.
Believe in astrology, ghosts, or any other woo-woo. Shouldn't say don't believe in astrology, ghosts, or any other woo-woo. Maybe just for shits, I'll make a Tinder profile, and if I see any good cheeks, maybe I'll take the opportunity. Thanks for the donation, 21st.
Hey VG, hope you are doing well.
Today, law-abiding citizens, hunters, farmers, sport shooters, and trappers live in fear that technical violations of confusing, ever-changing gun laws will criminalize them overnight. Meanwhile,
I don't need to watch this entire video. Like, I know exactly what he's going to say. So basically, there's been, I think like, there's only been like conservative leadership in the country like 3 times. The majority of elections are won by the liberals, like the vast majority. So what's been going on for the longest time, like the last 60 years probably, is the liberal government has been deliberately persecuting gun owners. So there's periods of time where they wanted to ban or restrict firearms, but they couldn't just because it didn't make any political sense or it was just unpopular or whatever. But what they do to get around that is they arbitrarily will, and it's really fucking weird. I don't even know how the fuck any of this is illegal. Basically, they collude with the police for, like, it's usually the RCMP. They collude with the RCMP to arbitrarily ban certain weapons. It shouldn't be legal to do this. Like, basically, they don't have to pass any laws through Congress. They don't have to get any law or bill passed. They can literally sidestep all of that and just get the police to just ban guns. And it's really weird. I don't know how this fucking even works here. It should be illegal. But the police can, like, basically just arbitrarily determine that we're just going to decide to arrest people who have this gun now. And they create a bunch of other, like, weird regulations and shit with, like, having 2 locks on, like, a firearms transport case and stuff like that. And they just make weird fucking laws that they know not everybody is going to be aware of when some of these laws change, or somebody could very easily make a simple mistake. Like, again, having 2 locks on a firearms case. very easy to make a simple mistake of you put your lock on your gun case, and then you bring it to the range. Oh, you forgot to put on the second lock. Very simple mistake. But, oh, well, now that's a federal crime, so you get like 5 years in prison for that. That's the kind of shit they do to just persecute fucking gun owners. So they just try to make it as difficult as possible, like make it very easy to make simple, stupid fucking mistakes. And then they'll just lock you up for just doing something that literally harms nobody. And this is just what they've been doing for the longest fucking time. It's retarded. So yeah, they've tried to circumvent like outright bans by just doing horseshit like that to disincentivize anybody from even owning a firearm. Because like as soon as somebody finds out their family member got like 5 years in jail because they only put one lock on their fucking gun case rather than two, like, well, you know, maybe I shouldn't get my license now. It's like, you don't want to get 5 years in prison. It's just what they do. The liberals are just fucking disgusting scumbags. But yeah, let's bring in a bunch of like retarded fucking immigrants who steal money from the system and like just create fucking problems and like and commit crimes and like rape kids and promote like Holocaust denial. We're all good with that. Thanks for the donation, Depressed and Repressed.
The word is, to those with intellectual disabilities. The top comment on this post reads, "We made the right guy famous, people." But just a few months later, Scotty's actions had now totally betrayed the image he built for himself. And it wasn't just his haters who had a reason, but also his own fans. This betrayal of his public image would ultimately cost him his sponsorship with Rise as well. Effective immediately, Rise is no longer affiliated with or represented by the individual involved in recent controversy. We are aware of comments made by this prior affiliate that were hurtful and inappropriate towards individuals with physical and mental disabilities. While Scotty had previously maintained silence on this issue, now that it was affecting his bottom line, he knew he had to say something. And with one of the main criticisms against him being that his beliefs were ultimately performative, it's not a surprise that this video was seen as more of the same.
For days now, I have been lying to myself, saying things like, I'm a good person. I've done a lot of good for the world. It's all bullshit deflection to keep me from...
How many times a day does Isaac jack off? I don't know. I haven't asked him.
Taking responsibility for my own actions. I've built this entire platform on inclusivity and kindness. And I lost sight of that in my own ego.
Scotty's empty sniffs, deep breaths, and watery eyes ultimately did very little to convince the audience that he was sorry for his actions. This is so performative, bro. Get on with it. Just a theater kid with a fitness platform. Stop deleting comments, buddy. You didn't even explain what you did.
All you have, like, there's two ways to deal with these problems. One is to, like, just ignore it. Like, especially these days, especially if it's something to do with, like, some sort of social justice topic, like, oh, you're racist or sexist or something. Just, like, don't even bother acknowledging it. Like, as soon as you end up apologizing for something like that, people sniff blood in the water and then they just ride your ass even harder because they realize you're weak. So just acting like you don't even give a fuck, usually it just blows over. But something like this, honesty, which apparently is too much for these people. Like just saying, you know, I realize that I have like, I've been a complete idiot. I didn't realize that what I was doing was completely inappropriate. I got way too in my own head and was overly sensitive. I shouldn't have done what I did, doxing people, and it was stupid. I'm sorry, and I'm just going to grow as a person, and, you know, hopefully you can learn to forgive me, and I can, you know, learn and grow from this. That's all you got to do. And then, like, no. Like, the fake crying, the sniffles, not even acknowledging what you fucking did, or even mentioning it in any way. Like, yeah, it's just great. These people can't, like, they just can't help themselves. And again, it makes me think they have a personality disorder like narcissism, because this is exactly what fucking narcissists do. They can never acknowledge they're fucking wrong, and they just resort to like these retarded manipulation tactics.
Did. You only apologize because your sponsors are dropping you. While I don't think that Scotty completely faked his emotions, it seems like he's coming from a place of realizing that he's overstepped his boundaries. And now he regrets it. He wants to go back to being the silly TikTok fitness guy as soon as possible. If his apology had been more convincing, that actually could have happened. But once people dug into his past, they began realizing that with or without this event taking place, his career was probably doomed from the start. While the internet was eating Scotty alive, he posted a new message to his Discord server. He first reiterates his apology, but then states that the situation had earned him some real-life consequences. He claims a few people had showed up at his family's home, forcing them to skip town. Meanwhile, internet sleuths began digging into Scotty's past. They quickly found that Scotty wasn't his real name. In April 2025, he had filed to change his name from Matthew Scott Kramer to Scotty Knox Flynn. Now, this wasn't exactly something he was hiding. He had posted an explanation for what happened long before the controversy began.
Some of you already know this, but my parents suck. My mother abandoned me when I was 14 and she was a drug addict. I met my father one time who was also a drug addict and he didn't know my name. I haven't spoken to my mother in about 16 years. I still carry a lot of with me from my childhood. The abandonment issues, generational trauma, and the same last name. Now I'm getting married on September 20th of this year, 2025. But I don't want to give my wife that same last name.
Seems simple enough, right? Well, this video is from July of 2025, but as I said before, he filed for his name change in April. But you could excuse this with the fact that the process was only finalized in July, and maybe he only said he was about to go do it for the sake of a punchier TikTok. He then goes on.
Usually people change their names either because it's a weird way of getting out of bankruptcy issues. There's a lack of communication between like different institutions like banks, federal agencies, and shit like that. So if you end up undergoing a name change, like under certain bankruptcy laws, you may not be able to get a loan or something. But then if you change your name and they do some like background check on you, like nothing shows up. So then you can get another loan. Usually it's something like that, or it has something to do with some sort of criminal history. So again, because of the lack of communication between like different federal agencies or something, if you're having trouble getting a job because people see your criminal history, getting a name change often is a way of like getting around that. It wouldn't surprise me if it's something like that. I wonder if he's going to expose him.
On to talk about his time in the army and how it informed his name change.
Scotty is not my real name. Story time! When I was mobilizing to Afghanistan, I got a chance to train with some pretty cool guys. And the training kind of sucked. So to keep morale high, I did a bunch of stupid accents. One of their favorites was the Scottish accent that I do, which led them to start calling me Scotsman, and then Scots, and then Scotty. So Scotty stuck. I learned a lot about myself in Afghanistan, who I was and who I wanted to be. And since then, I have been Scotty.
On the surface, this explanation seems pretty believable, until you remember that his middle name was already Scott. Wouldn't that be a much more typical reason to call him Scotty, rather than the fact he did a Scottish accent while deployed? People began to seriously question the reason for his name change, thinking there could have been something he was hiding. Sleuths managed to find his marriage license, which revealed that he had been honest about his marriage happening soon. His past also seemed to check out. Court records showed that nearly 2 decades ago, his mother had filed a protective order request against who is assumed to be his stepfather. There's also a separate report of Scotty's mom being charged for domestic assault and battery. Once again, checks out with his past. After this protective order was filed by his mother, Scotty's own records only really start in 2013, when he got a charge of forcible entry, which was promptly dismissed for unknown reasons. Just so we don't have to revisit this, there are actually 3 other instances of forcible entry charges, at least one of which is apparently tied to an eviction procedure, and one of them also involves someone else who shares a last name with Scotty, probably a brother of his. Then, in 2014, we have a marriage license application related to his first wife. 3 years later, Scotty filed for a protective order against one of his brothers, although it was dismissed for insufficient evidence. Finally, in April 2020, Scotty filed for a protective order against his wife, which resulted in her having to surrender all firearms to law enforcement, and it was promptly succeeded by a positive drug test from her and divorce proceedings. At this point, Scotty and his ex-wife had 2 kids, so a lengthy custody battle ensued, which resulted in a joint custody arrangement where Scotty kept the kids for the most part, while his ex-wife had weekly visitation rights. As of February 2026, there are still somewhat regular updates to the case, and it seems that the kids have had what is called a guardian ad litem since October 2025. I should preface this with the obvious disclaimer that I'm not a lawyer, and I also have an IQ of 65, but from my general understanding, a guardian ad litem is when a custody battle develops to the point where the court appoints someone to advocate on the behalf of the kids so that neither parent gets away with mixing their personal interests in what's best for the child. Lastly, there was just one outlier in the records, a lawsuit filed by V-Shred against Scotty, but apparently it's related to intellectual property, so in all likelihood, this was just a glorified copyright strike from V-Shred on Scotty as retaliation for making fun of him so much. Legally speaking, there wasn't that much on Scotty, but fortunately for his haters, people went way beyond the call of duty. John Dorsey, the owner of the Instagram account goob_u2, utilized the Oklahoma Open Records Act to request records of Scotty's employment at the police department. Scotty's legitimacy as a creator hinged very hard on the professions he spoke about occupying, from being a soldier to his supposed bounty hunter career, to him being a first responder, or farming as a cop, being a firefighter. All of these things really helped to build the image people had of him online. So if someone managed to find out that his time as a police officer wasn't all he had cracked it up to be, it would definitely do some serious damage to his reputation. Now, it's extremely important to note that what I'm about to go over are allegations made against Scotty that have been officially documented by the police. The fact that they've been documented does not mean that they're confirmed, and I don't personally endorse them. But for full context in the story, it's important that we cover them. During his time as a cop, he was placed at Tulsa Community College. Starting in December 2020 onwards, he allegedly made several statements that were deemed as, quote, conduct unbecoming of an officer. These include talking about sticking it in the butt of a newscaster, sharing information about his past sexual experiences with his ex-girlfriend, speaking to the college staff about cheating on his wife 35 times, trying to find one of the students on Facebook once he noticed that she wasn't wearing a bra, telling
Given that this guy is a doxer, that would not surprise me if that's true.
A student life employee he was going to start an OF account, and lastly, making inappropriate statements about a female student. By mid-2021, an internal investigation
sounds all about right.
Was being conducted on him as a complaint about his behavior had already been made. So a lieutenant began to keep track and take notes of the things Scotty said. Establishing that this was a consistent pattern was easy, as according to this lieutenant, he personally heard Scotty talking about getting head. And when an attempt was made to intervene and counsel him against that sort of behavior while on the job, he was found to, quote, not take counseling very well, shut down, and pout. A few days after this
that sounds about right for a narcissist.
Lieutenant's interview, Scotty's captain was also interviewed, where he said that although Scotty was capable of being a good cop, he had a big ego and was constantly trying to impress everyone around him, whether it be with
sounds about right for a narcissist.
His body language or his voice, to the point where it became insubordination. In his own words, young Officer Kramer came to us in September and has a lot of rough edges. Probably the biggest issue is his inability to not talk. When directly asked about these complaints about his behavior, Scotty apparently denied all of them, except that he had previously admitted to having cheated on his ex-wife, which led to their marriage falling apart. He then went on to claim he was offended by being asked these questions and impulsively quit his job, which seems to confirm that he doesn't take criticism very well and will react emotionally, as was described by his captain. Interestingly enough, while he was quitting, Scotty is recorded as saying, "I appreciate you being professional, and there has not been a breakdown in communication, but I'm not going to go through with allegations of that. I've dealt with those types of allegations, as you know. I'm not looking towards building a pattern of allegations, so no thank you." There were a few more interesting pieces of information coming from these documents, such as his captain saying that Scotty was never career military, as his deployments were as a contractor, although at this point it was unclear what his job as a contractor was. Due to how many videos Scotty had posted talking about being deployed to Afghanistan, or posts of him in military clothes, some people immediately saw this report and assumed it meant that Scotty had lied about having served at all. I'd personally say that Scotty does go a bit overboard with the tactical LARPing on TikTok. Yeah. He plays fast and loose with the truth, often interspersing references to having been in the military for 11 years, with recent photos of him taking part in the Oklahoma government governor's 20 marksman competition. This does not mean he doesn't have any legit experience working with or for the military. It just means that he carefully exaggerates just as much as he can without losing the plausible deniability of having lied. If you were to call him out on this, he'd easily be able to say that due to him showing the competition certificate, he wasn't intentionally misleading anyone. But obviously, the context of the video at least suggests this was some kind of military thing. The only other piece of information that's interesting here is that his lieutenant described that besides these odd behaviors from Scotty, he also reportedly had poor ethics when it came to actual police work. And keep in mind here, Scotty is referred to as Kramer. We were on a call. It came out as an armed robbery at Home Depot, so an officer and Kramer.
Pressed and repressed, donated $2. Let me see.
Are you Israeli? Ashkenazi?
Yep.
Security officer. Why does he have a fake gun? Code Pink Jews shill for Palestinian terrorism against Israel outside of AIPAC.
Are you Ashkenazi? They just picked you because you have a tan?
You can have a tan. You can be.
Oh, I see. I see what's going on here.
Black in Israel.
No, I'm saying you're supposed to look.
It's probably a bad idea having something like that. I wouldn't go into public, especially in the US, with like a fake gun like this. I've seen way too many like stories of people falsely identifying like a toy or replica gun, and like the police are called and shit.
You look like an Israeli, but you're an American Jew.
Yeah. You can serve in the IDF if you're American.
No, I know, but you're not really in the IDF. You're just acting.
I think the pink shirt maybe gives me away.
What does it mean? The
Code pink.
The code pink. From what city?
Maryland, Tacoma Park.
Oh, so you're local.
Yeah.
You're local, and you're carrying a.
An orange tip doesn't do anything. Even if it has an orange tip, they'll still like cops are always fucking called. They'll still pull out their gun. It's just a bad idea.
Cardboard machine gun.
You can spray paint it. So.
I think if we carried a real.
There are actually cases where people had real firearms and they spray painted them orange. So yeah, cops don't fuck around. If they see something that looks like a gun, they're pulling out their guns.
The police might get upset here.
And why do the Israelis have to have checkpoints?
To maintain the occupation of Israel, of Palestine.
Because if they didn't have checkpoints, what would the Palestinians do?
They would be able to travel freely between their villages.
Yeah, and kill Jews.
To bomb, you mean? To bomb and kill the Jews?
Do you think that's what Palestinians want to do?
Yeah, because they do that.
Well, that's what they say. They want to conquer Israel. They want to kill.
Well, not only do they say it, they do it.
The Jews. Khaybar al-Yahud, they want to kill the Jews. So how come you're not protesting against the Palestinian terror as a Jew, killing them killing Jews?
Yeah, it's called white guilt and CCP money. These people are absolute fucking pieces of shit.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know about
you're talking propaganda, but I don't know what you're.
There are over 1,000 Jews killed in the Intifada, right?
No.
Oh no. You didn't hear about that, or you want to deny it?
I didn't hear about it.
Interest, so.
150 Jews, 160 Jews were killed in the last year.
You think only 150 Jews were killed?
As opposed to what? How many thousand Palestinians?
And what do the Palestinians say they want?
Excuse me, have you been to Palestine?
Absolutely.
You've been to Palestine?
Absolutely.
What cities and what villages in Palestine?
I've been to Ramallah.
You've been to any other? Have you been to Hebron?
Yeah, I've been to Hebron.
You've been to? You like segregation?
If the Palestinians weren't attacking the Jews, there wouldn't be a need for these checkpoints. But
what are the settlers doing in the West Bank?
They're allowed to live there just like the Arabs are.
No, it's illegal.
The mandate for Palestine.
Don't you know that it's illegal?
No, it's legal for them to live.
Settlements are illegal. Don't you know that the settlements are illegal?
No,
yes or no?
Don't you know that the settlements anyone can live there?
Just yes or no.
They're not illegal. Like, that is some United Nations bullshit. The reason they say they're illegal is because of some bullshit UN declaration. There's nothing that actually says they're illegal. Just because the UN says you're not allowed to make settlements there, it doesn't mean fucking anything.
Absolutely legal. Anyone can live there until a final settlement, final status.
That's absolutely
It's absolutely true.
It says you can't move people into occupied territory.
It's a disputed territory.
It's an occupied territory. What's the dispute?
The dispute is that there's a... What?
There's no dispute. You actually look.
If
there's law, and then there's...
Like, it's so retarded. Like, they have no... Well, they know. They're just all bullshitters. So, Israel fucking got the territory back from fucking Jordan, and... Palestinians are fucking claiming, oh, this is our land, when it literally never was. And like they're still to this day just bullshitting about it. There's also a lot of Israelis who've owned land there since the fucking 1940s, and a lot of those evictions you see where, oh, Palestinians are getting forced out of their homes. Those homes were owned by Israelis. It's just that after Jordan took over the territory, they had to flee. And then when they finally get an opportunity to argue through the court system that that's their property, then, and these, like, they're basically squatting on their property, they get evicted. And then they, like, say this bullshit about how, oh, they're being forced out of their homes. Well, no, you've been squatting on somebody else's home.
Propaganda. You can give me all this propaganda, but I don't think you know the law. The law
and you do?
Yes.
What's the mandate for Palestine?
The mandate for Palestine is that the 67 borders are illegally occupied under international law.
Oh my god, dude. These people are just... It's beyond help. They just need to be like these Code Pink people need to be in fucking jail. The only reason they're doing this, by the way, Code Pink, is because they're getting money from the Chinese Communist Party. That's the only fucking reason. If they weren't getting money from the Chinese Communist Party, none of these people would be doing any of this horse shit. So there's these white guilt pick-me fucking Jews who see an opportunity to make fucking money through the Chinese Communist Party, and they just do this bullshit.
Kramer got in a vehicle, and it was reported later that Kramer went out of jurisdiction, and then he told that officer, oh, just lie and say that I couldn't go back on a one-way street. In another incident, he tried to intimidate someone by the way he was acting, by the way he was standing. He was trying to intimidate, almost like he was trying to provoke them to do something.
Oh no, there's a kitty. There's a kitty that's hungry for num-nums.
He has issues with lurking and trying to eavesdrop on conversation. Betrayal of his public image.
Yeah. Well, this cat is going to be a bit of a problem. Oh man, I don't want to have to get up. So dead from that leg workout. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna put my bowl away so this cat, like, stops harassing me. I'll be right back. Yeah, DJ Gummy. Oh. I'll be right back. Oh. Oh. Oh my God. Oh. That was a good workout. I am so fucking sore. Oh man. Dude, I'm gonna take some growth hormone. I'm gonna sleep so fucking well tonight.
Would ultimately cost him his sponsorship with Rise as well. Effective immediately, Rise is no longer affiliated with or represented by the individual involved in recent.
Yeah, so he probably got the name change because of like weird legal issues that he had and like a bad reputation with his former work.
And controversy. We are aware of comments made by this prior affiliate that were hurtful and inappropriate towards individuals with physical and mental disabilities. While Scotty had previously maintained silence on this issue, now that it was affecting his bottom line, he knew he had to say something. And with one of the main criticisms against him being that his beliefs were ultimately performative, it's not a surprise that this video was seen as more of the same.
For days now, I have been lying to myself. Saying things like, I'm a good person. I've done a lot of good for the world. It's all bullshit deflection to keep me from taking responsibility for my own actions. I've built this entire platform on inclusivity and kindness. And I lost sight of that in my own ego.
Scotty's empty sniffs, deep breaths, and watery eyes ultimately did very little to convince the audience that he was sorry for his actions. This is so performative, bro. Get on with it. Just a theater kid with a fitness platform. Stop deleting comments, buddy. You didn't even explain what you did. You only apologized because your sponsors are dropping you. While I don't think that Scotty completely faked his emotions, it seems like he's coming from a place of realizing that he's overstepped his boundaries. And now he regrets it. He wants to go back to being the silly TikTok fitness guy as soon as possible. If his apology had been more convincing, that actually could have happened. But once people dug into his past, they began realizing that with or without this event taking place, his career was probably doomed from the start. While the internet was eating Scotty alive, he posted a new message to his Discord server. He first reiterates his apology, but then states that the situation had earned him some real-life consequences. He claims a few people had showed up at his family's home, forcing them to skip town. Meanwhile, internet sleuths began digging into Scotty's past
14 and she was a drug
body rather than the fact he's, as of February 20s include talking about sticking it in the butt, dealt with those types of allegations, as you know, of the video, and it was reported later, so is that easily be able to say that due to him showing the competition certificate, he wasn't intentionally misleading anyone. But obviously, the context of the video at least suggests this was some kind of military thing. The only other
Let's take a muscle mommy break. I didn't realize this until I saw this girl, but holy fuck. I never knew that I wanted a girl with a horse's ass until I saw a girl with a horse's ass. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. This is like a 1 in a fucking, like, 8 billion ass. Like, nobody on the planet has an ass like this. Oh my God. I would just love to bury my face in those fucking cheeks. Like, fucking incredible. I can't imagine how good her bum feels. I just want to hug it and kiss it and tell her butt I love it. It's also really hot how she really loves the way she looks too. She'll like do a video where she's like actually surprised at how amazing her ass is. Oh man. I'm actually like, since seeing her legs and her ass, I actually kind of want to get legs and an ass like that. I'm thinking of like after I get the pendulum squat, I'm thinking like I should get a really good belt squat, or not belt squat, glute. What is it? The what's the fucking glute machine called? Glute hip thrust machine. 'Cause like that's just fucking incredible. Like I want a big powerful butt like that now. I actually have like a nice big butt already, but like that's just fucking incredible. I still have like some striations that you can see in my ass, but when I was like really lean in the summer, like it was kind of like you could see a lot of striations, and I like the way that looks, but like this is fucking amazing. Yeah, she has this. Like, my ass was like this lean in the summer. I like seeing like a really like my ass looking big and muscular like that, but I want to build my butt up a bit more. That's just fucking incredible, dude. Like, holy shit, that looks fucking hot. Yeah, those hamstrings too, like fuck me. That's just amazing. God damn. Fucking hell. Yes, please. This is why, like, more girls need to take steroids. Like, everybody should be on steroids, but, like... Oh, man. Oh. Dodo donated $2. Let me see. Oh, is this like a normal thing when they're about to be deployed or something? Are these Navy? I know the Navy, especially submariners, like people who work on subs, they are given particularly good meals. I don't know if this is some normal thing that they do for troops that are about to be deployed, or if that's like the Navy in particular.
I've tried a lot of crazy therapies, and most of them didn't even work. But this one did. This is hyperbaric oxygen therapy, or HBOT. It delivers 100% oxygen that you breathe inside this pressurized chamber. That pressurization pushes the oxygen deep into the body, boosting repair and recovery.
You can get a similar benefit to this from taking steroids. The increase in red blood cells helps to deliver oxygen to your body. That's why steroids are so great at tissue repair. Testosterone in particular is also a good vasodilator. So it helps to like oxygenate your body and everything. So, you know, if you're not a billionaire like this guy, you can just take steroids.
After 60 sessions of HBOT, we saw the most impressive results we've seen from any therapy to date.
Oh yeah, dude, after seeing this girl's legs, like I'm like super focused on like really building up my legs. They've been a weak point for a while, but like I'm so fucking locked in now. I just want like fucking quads and an ass like hers. Jesus Christ, man. Oh. Dude, I wish I could just put my face in right there. That'd be so nice. Like, I just want to touch her legs and her butt. If there were, like, girls like that at public gyms, like, I'd probably get a gym membership again. Like, that'd totally be worth it. Fuck me. Oh my God. That is like the most mesmerizing fucking behind I've ever seen. Oh. I want to... I wish I could just put my face right in here when she squats down. She's also... I really like her. She's talked about how a lot... Like, she competes in the IFBB. She's talked about how a lot of the judges don't like how her butt and legs are so big. And she said, like, I don't care. I love the way I look, and I'm just gonna look the way I want to look. I really admire that. And she's also talked about how she's never gonna get breast implants. She just doesn't think it looks good. So I like how she's not, like, pressured to look a certain way, and she's just, you know, training the way she wants to look the way she wants. I kind of admire that. But, man, her fucking behind is just fucking incredible. Fucking love it, dude.
Wiped out inflammation in my body, improved a marker for blood vessel growth by 300%, decreased a marker for dementia, drastically.
I've never gotten, like, as far as I know, I've never gotten pink eye from eating ass and putting my, like, face in a girl's ass. I got pink eye once, but it was kind of random. It was... It wasn't around a time where, like, I stuffed my face into a girl's ass. I just woke up with pink eye one day. I think it might have been from, like, a dog or a cat or something, because, you know, the dogs and cats I've had have, like, slept on my pillows and shit before. But, I've eaten a lot of ass. A lot of ass. And I mean... nice, sweaty, stinky ass, and I've never gotten a fucking problem from it. So,
improved my gut and skin health, and even lengthened my telomeres, a key marker tied to slower biological aging. My protocol was simple: 5 sessions per week, 90 minutes per session, 2 atmospheres of pressure, cycling 20 minutes of 100% oxygen with 5-minute breaks in between. You're probably thinking, Unk, that looks expensive as f. But guess what? Yeah, no, you're right, it is. My goal in this is to share information on therapies that actually work. HBOT is not a necessity to be healthy. You can get the majority of health benefits by simply mastering sleep, exercise, and diet. If you have the money...
I'm kind of curious how this would affect somebody who's on steroids. Because there seems to be... a possibility that certain things like this might increase your red blood cell count. I haven't gotten a huge increase in red blood cells from being on steroids. It's been pretty minor, but I'm wondering, like, if I were to do the sort of oxygen therapy, I don't know if that would actually create some sort of interaction where that would push your red blood cell count up higher. I know some people, like, it's never been actually formally tested, but like there's people who have the hypothesis that if you're eating like a lot of red meat and you take steroids, particularly like boldenone or anadrol, that combination of factors pushes up your red blood cell count. But if you're eating a vegan diet like me, you don't have the like heme iron and like the dietary B12 that would allow your body to produce more red blood cells. Be kind of interesting to test some of that stuff out. I don't have the money for a oxygen tank though, or a hyperbaric oxygen chamber.
I've tried
Anyway, glad she's unindoctrinating her young female TikTok brainwash communist audience. That's good. Oh, is this the chick? Let's see. Camilo Cabello raised awareness for the living conditions in Cuba. It's been 60 years of failing dictatorship, oppressive regime. Cuban people are suffering echo chamber where no one can hear them. Because to speak is to risk your life. Many people are starving, looking for food in trash heaps, and the only way to survive is having relatives ship you boxes of medicine. It's not even hospitals have medicine. Yeah. And I mean, like, Iran has a similar issue too, where they're not able to import a lot of medical supplies, but they make their own. But even Iran is able to get by. And it just shows you how fucking terrible communism is. And then you have like fucking idiots like Hassan and Code Pink. Oh my god, the doctors in Cuba are so good. It's fucking retarded. Thanks for that donation, Dodo. Dodo donated
You
$2.
love cats so much. Tell me, do you love this one?
Oh no. Oh no. Well, I mean, he seems to just be playing with it. He's probably gonna eat it. I'm sure the mouse isn't very happy about that. I mean, he's a cat. I'm not gonna blame the cat for being a cat. Yeah, seems like he just wants to play with a mouse. Yeah, it's kind of what cats do. Yeah. I still love that cat. Thanks for the donation, Killing Titan. Dodo donate $2. I'm noticing all these anti-data center protesters are all women.
We saw how the data center is divided.
Yeah, there's a reason for that. They're either paid off by the Chinese Communist Party or they're just it's TikTok fucking brain rot horseshit. That's why.
The community.
We need clarity, and we need it now because we are not going to pay double the amount of our utility bills. Do you understand that?
These are good-paying union jobs that are part of a once-in-a-generation investment in Port Washington.
Mayor Ted Neitzke defends the project.
These are huge companies that are kind of the face of AI right now, OpenAI, Oracle.
Like, here's the thing. There are issues with data centers. One of them being power production and driving. Like, it generally doesn't drive up utility costs for other consumers. If there's a shortage of power supply, and some of these power plants are at like maximum capacity, it can certainly increase power bills for other consumers. like, I know I'm kind of privileged, but electricity isn't that expensive, and like I use a fair bit of electricity. Like if my power bill doubled, it just wouldn't be a problem for me. But you know, I make a decent living. I know there's a lot of like normal everyday brokies and shit, but yeah. I don't know, like if your power bill goes from, you know, 150 to 250, like I don't know. It's it's really weird. Like if you can't handle an extra $100 a month, like I don't know how much of that you can really blame on like the data centers and shit, or how much you can blame that on like, okay, maybe you need to like cut back on some of your stupid spending and maybe try to make some more money, like because an extra $100, like I don't know, I think if you're a fucking adult, especially like once you're at an age where you should be pretty locked in on your like career and everything, like over 30, you probably should just start kind of like figuring out how to make more money and cut back on your spending, because life happens. Like if you own a car, like, you know, you are going to have like, you're going to have random expenses come at you. Your car is going to break down, and then you're going to get a fucking bill from a mechanic for like $800, you know? So it's like, like there are noise issues with these data centers too. Some of them are like pretty crazy, where there's like this constant high-pitched humming like everywhere. They're not well noise insulated. But like we're basically, it's kind of like the nuclear arms race of the 40s. We need these data centers. We need to be investing into AI. Because if we don't, then some other country, particularly China, is going to be the first to develop AGI, and then we're like really fucked. Like it's kind of the next doomsday weapon, practically. So yeah, the reason why you see like it's all women and shit, that like when you see crap like that, this is a paid protester.
Handcuffed and physically removed from the meeting by police. It was.
So these are paid protesters. And they're probably getting paid by the CCP. So that's why they're all women. It's TikTok brain rot horseshit, and they're getting recruited, and they have these like weird spies that basically distribute money to these people who have just consumed brain rot horseshit, and then a bunch of dumbass women who are just addicted to TikTok do this crap for money. Why do we need to help people who commit these kinds of crimes out of poverty or whatever? They are worthless. New Carl Grillemar, Caltech astrophysicist, research scientist. Shot and killed at his home in California. At the time of his death, he was researching comet asteroids. Guy shot him, was already facing first-degree burglary charge from a separate incident. Including attempted jail escape. Yeah, well, you know, that's California. They just let out criminals and let them do whatever they want. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. That's what we do here, too. We just let criminals do whatever they want. Dodo donate $2. I believe I donated more links and you got distracted very easily. Also react to these two. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I looked at all your links. Yeah, I did. Let me see. Curious as to why Iran has not surrendered after such a large military buildup.
Lines here from the U.S. How about over with Iran?
The president asked me that this morning, and I don't want to use the word frustrated. It's almost because he understands he's got plenty of alternatives. But it's curious. He's curious as to why they haven't I don't want to use the word capitulated, but why they haven't capitulated. why under this sort of pressure with the amount of sea power, naval power that we have over there, why they haven't come to us and said, we profess that.
Well, it's the same reason why the Russian regime hasn't, given up on the war. They know as soon as they give up on the war, they're dead. Similar with the U.S., like, the regime has no real legitimacy in Iran. They've only been able to keep control of power just due to, extreme hostile measures, mass killing of any protesters. That's the only reason why they've been able to keep up the power of the regime. And if they're forced to give up, their missile systems, their nuclear weapons, not fund any terrorism and crap like that, the regime's just going to lose even more power, and they're just going to get overthrown, and they're all going to be killed. So that's why they're dead either way. So they're just going to, since they're dead either way, they might as well try. So yeah, they're going to get clapped.
When I was interviewing for a position, I got told by two people, I can't hire a white male right now in a leadership role.
Does DEI hiring lower the talent bar? Yes, it does. We'll look at that in a bit. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Dodo donated $2. It's because people lack personal responsibility, VG. Also, those data centers bring so much tax revenue to those communities. So they can have nice things, and usually they don't actually raise the bill for the rest of the community. That's how that works. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, it's bullshit. Like, again, when you have a bunch of adults complaining about their power bill going up by like $50, like, it's just horseshit. Thanks for that donation, Dodo.
The odds of people getting rejected for being a white male are far less.
I agree with
How much is left with this? Okay, we'll watch this first.
you 15 years ago. For the past 5 years, I think it's actually quite the opposite.
I have never seen another person in marketing with a hijab on. And I've seen so many white males.
Oh boy. This is going to be retarded. The data's out. We already know that there is clearly discrimination against men, particularly white males. There are jobs that were historically, 60, 70, 80% white men. And all of a sudden, they're a huge minority. Like, it's gone to like 10, 20% white males, and the rest are just a mix of women and minority women and minorities. Like, there's a discrimination against white men, clearly. And I was a little skeptical at first. Like, there's even some people in my chat saying, like, I'm white, and I know for a fact that I'm not getting hired, even after asking at dozens of jobs that I'm totally qualified to do. Nobody's hiring me, and I'm seeing all these companies hire, like, fucking women, black women, Indian dudes. So, like, the data's already out. It's clear. There's discrimination against white men.
I'm Zaria, head of social at DoorDash and previously...
Men in general, but white men in particular.
Brent, co-founder and CEO of Geezer Creative.
I'm Eddie Pearson, VP of Creative at Liquid Death.
I think any time that we're putting a criteria to hiring individuals, we lose the ability to hire the best. DEI hiring lowered the talent bar. I agree with that. I think any time that we're putting a criteria to hiring individuals, we lose the ability to hire the best person for the job. And, while I'm not against D&I practices, I do think that it's lowered the talent bar.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree because I think that the bar has to be looked at as a holistically to the entire organization, what we're bringing. And so, I mean, look at creativity through time. Anytime that more diversity is introduced into any situation, that's what inherently breeds innovation. And so to say that bringing in more diversity into a creative department, agency, whatever, is going to make the output of that worse is flawed.
I don't disagree that diversity makes for creativity. What I disagree with is that forced diversity is not the solution. Once upon a time when I was interviewing for a position, I got told by two people, I can't hire a white male right now in a leadership role, right? That's a miss, right? Just having to hire a woman for the sake of a woman is kind of if I were a woman, I'd be as pissed off at that as I was in the latter.
I think a woman here would probably...
I don't even know how this is a debate. There are no women that have ever been able to like be number one at chess. Like there's even women's chess tournaments. Women can't compete against men in chess. And there's like there's no physical requirement for chess. You can be a quadriplegic and play chess. So like the fact is, the best people for any job are going to be men. Like men are just, the best men are better at everything than the best women. It's just the way it is. Even like Boggle championships, Scrabble, chess, shit that doesn't require any physicality. It's all mental. Men are better. So, like these DEI practices where, oh, you need to hire a woman, you are ensuring with these diversity hire things like that you're not going to hire the best person.
I disagree with that statement here.
I don't think that anybody wants to be hired. I don't want to be hired just because I'm a white.
No, certainly not because of, but.
I'm white and I can't get a job either. Not because of my skin color, but because I'm too lazy to apply for one.
Based. Thanks for the donation, Ben Boy.
Having an equal opportunity to have
equal opportunity, I agree. But if it's forced, if you're forcing on a brief and you're saying we cannot hire a white man in this role, we need to look for a colored individual of this age group. To me, that's missing the opportunity because the most talented person for the job might have been not looking and sounding like the person that you put on a brief.
But maybe the talented is not the only criterion in which we should be judging people, right? So again, by bringing in various voices, we gain more experience that can be fed into that. When I'm building a creative department, when I'm building a team, I'm looking at the entire thing as an organization that needs different inputs rather than necessarily what is the most talented person to fill that.
By the way, women are always a fucking problem in the workforce. I've talked to women about this. Like, women create fucking problems wherever they go. Like, dudes, they just want to get their fucking work done, go home, relax. Women will just complain about, like, the most inane bullshit. He looked at me funny. When we were in that meeting and he was like, talking about something, I didn't like the way he said that. I thought it was like a little discriminatory, like just his tone. Or like you'll shake hands with some chick. I thought he touched me really weird. Like, I know it was just a handshake, but like I noticed the way he shook my hand was different than the way he shook everyone else's hand. It was like sexual in some way. Like, they just create those sorts of fucking problems. And like this idea that, oh, well, you're like, when there's diversity and you hire more women, like, you're getting so many, like, new ideas and creativity. No, you're getting more fucking annoying bullshit.
I treat it like an episode of The Voice. Right? I want to hire the best person for the job, and then however they look, show up, what their sexual orientation is, irrelevant, completely irrelevant. I will never put on a document that I have to hire for this person because it's going to look good, be it to a client or to the external world. Right? I just think that's a massive miss.
Yeah, well, disagree. Yeah.
I think something that you're fundamentally missing is like access and like the rooms that you, like the fact that you were even able to interview and have someone reject you. Like, yes, we want to be judged on our talent, we want to be judged on our experiences and what we bring, but like realistically, you as a white male will have more access to even those rooms where people are even judging you. For us to even get to that point is like...
That's totally fair. I mean, but that wasn't part of the discussion, the way that I read the DE&I is lowering the talent bar. When it comes to access, you're absolutely right? I'm judging the people that do have access, right? So for those that do have access to it, I don't believe that we should be deciding in advance what...
Like, by the way, this is bullshit. This is just total fucking bullshit. If you are good at anything, people would be interested in hiring you. Like, this is just a complete fucking cope.
That person should look, sound, and be like.
But do you not think the bias of the interviewer might come into play in that? Like, in the sense of like, if you're in...
That's what I'm saying. I'm against the bias, right? The bias is to say I need to hire a white woman for this role. That's bias, right? Okay. I say I need to hire the most talented leader for this role that have these criteria and this experience. I don't care what they look like.
But do you think, just statistically speaking, like even in those rooms with access, like...
My brother is watching and wants to know why you defend Israel over Palestine. Also, in my opinion, Sinister with Ethan Hawke is one of the best horror movies of the century. Thoughts?
No. It's a good movie. but it's a good like horror B movie. I wouldn't say it's one of the best horror movies of the century. There's a lot that beat it out. It's just a really good horror B movie. It's a top tier B movie. It's not like a top tier A-class horror movie though. And the reason I support Israel over Palestine is because I'm not a like retarded brain dead fuckwit. Palestinians are basically insane retarded fucking children who don't even know what's good for them. This whole conflict is over Islamic religious beliefs, and fundamentally what it is Muslims have this like weird honor culture where they have to commit jihad. And any territory that was formerly held by Muslims and is through war or whatever is no longer controlled by Muslims. They have like this honor and duty to kill whoever like took the land or is in control of the land and turn it Muslim again. Like even like you can even look at Muslim apologists talking about how they want to turn the UK into the next Islamic State, or like they need to commit jihad across Europe. Like they openly admit this. They want to turn the entire world into a Muslim caliphate. That's basically the idea. So basically the Jews illegally bought land in the area formerly, called Palestine. They ended up making an agreement with the British that, there would be the state of Israel and then there'd be the Palestinian state. Muslims freaked out, even though it was perfectly legal. There was no issues. Jews were not going to force any Muslims out of Israel. The original plan for Israel was to have a huge Muslim minority. It was going to be about 40% Muslim. They didn't like that idea because, again, this like Muslim fucking weird jihad honor culture. They went to war with Israel, lost, and ever since then, they've been acting like retarded, insane fucking children. They just want to kill Jews. They could live in peace just fine if they never tried to destroy the state of Israel. 40%, like Israel today, would probably be majority Muslim, honestly, with how much more they like how much more kids they tend to have. And like everything would be fine, but no, instead they decided to go to war with Jews, and when they lost, they couldn't accept it. They just refused to make peace, and they've just kept going on with this forever war. And look, they even collaborated with the Nazis. Back in the 1940s, the Muslim leader in Palestine, the Mufti, he literally had meetings with Hitler trying to convince the Nazi party to enact the Holocaust in fucking Israel. So they're evil, retarded, Nazi, Jew-hating jihadists. Why the fuck would I support, why would I favor Nazi Islamic jihadist fascists over a modern liberal democracy, which is Israel? It's just stupid. Thanks for the donation, Aaron Green.
Like, statistically speaking, generally, like in a place that's majority white, in a field that's majority male, the odds of people getting rejected for being a white male, I feel like are far less than the odds of like a woman or a woman of color being rejected, or even like getting space at a table, even before. Like,
I agree with you 15 years ago. For the past 5 years, I think it's actually quite the opposite. If you're in advertising right now and you're a white male and you're from Gen X, forget about it. Less than 5% of the industry are people over the age of 50, and that's purposeful.
I feel like I have never seen another person marketing with a hijab on, and I've seen so many white males, right? Like that's just,
yeah, that's your experience.
So I think that's what they're trying to include more of like.
But I don't think.
So her argument is, trust me, bro.
The answer is to say, I have to hire a person that wears a hijab. I think it is, I need to hire a social media leader, and I found one. She's amazing. Her name is Zaria, and she wears a hijab.
But do you think that's coming from how, just looking at the past 15 years, just how excluded they were from those rooms, that like maybe now it's leveling the playing field versus excluding?
No, it's not leveling the playing field. Dude, you can look at all the fucking, just look at media in general. It's all fucking garbage, retarded, communist, brain rot, feminist slop that nobody likes. Like, you can see what DEI is doing to the entertainment industry. It's all garbage. So, no. Everything's getting worse because they're hiring more women in particular. Like, it's just obvious.
Totally agree with you. And because they were excluded, again, was because it was purposeful. There were people that weren't opening up the aperture to talent from everywhere.
So looking at the industry as a whole and like how with social becoming big and everyone's looking for like the next young Gen Z, Gen Alpha to run their team, do you think Gen X is being excluded from these opportunities? And like, do you think there should be some DI initiative for like a Gen Xer?
No, I don't think in the example that you gave of social media, I think that is when you're saying I need the people that are innately the best equipped and the most talented in that space, in that medium. If I look at my background in advertising, right now, as I said, less than 5% of the industry are north of 50. That's very purposeful. But it's purposeful because we're the most
Fewer than 5% of ad employees are over the age of 50. It's not surprising 95% of global advertising is aimed at younger audiences. That's what you call implicit bias, and it reminds us of bygone days in advertising when white men wrote all the commercials aimed at women, portraying them all as subservient housewives. Like, what's this stupid what is this article they're showing? like this is an article. It's just somebody's like stupid ass fucking opinion. Like, by the way, is there a problem with having commercials that portray women as subservient housewives if that's the cultural norm? Like, as far as I could tell, like, advertising works, right? Like if that's the culture of the day, what does any of this have to do with most advertisers being male? Like they have to understand their market, right? Like, what fucking point is being made?
Most experienced were the most expensive. So get rid of all the people making 250, 300, 350 and replace them with people getting paid 125. And that's why we're finding ourselves in a situation where some of the most experienced people in the industry are not working anymore and they can't find their way back in.
So do you think though if it was flipped, taking social media out of it, we want to hire more Gen Xers and like, Andy, you're out because you're a millennial?
That would come down to the reason, right? Again, I don't think that you should be doing that. You should be giving your brief to say, I'm looking for a person that fills this talent gap, right? Now, if that talent gap lends itself to Gen Alpha or Gen Z, right, then that's just natural. That's fine. That's the way in. But you might have a young, whip smart, absolutely integrated, passionate person that's 53 years old that owns social media that you missed.
I guess where I'm coming at it from is that I think we're trying to correct what was severely undercorrected for years. So like, even if that's the situation, like, sure, maybe in this time period it might feel unfair to a white male, but in general, looking at like how the things lay, like they tend to get favor in these rooms regardless. And like, yes, agreed, somebody probably shouldn't say I'm looking for like a 24-year-old like brown girl. But when it comes
I'll translate this into from dumb woman talk to make sense language. I have stupid, dumb fucking ideas that nobody takes seriously, and I'm a fucking narcissistic retard who literally cannot handle criticism or anyone disagreeing with me. And when somebody's not listening to my ideas, rather than like actually reconsidering some of the things that I'm like thinking and expressing, I just know that I'm right and they're wrong no matter what. And I need like jackasses who will validate my opinion no matter what I say.
comes down to these situations, like the reality is like white males do run this industry. Like even being at like Cannes this year was so cool. I was like, oh my God, I get to be here. And like somebody literally asked me if I was working the event because I was wearing hijab and it was brown.
You're in Côte d'Azur, which doesn't make it any
like,
better.
Right? And I've had this, like doing keynotes and people are like, you can't get in. I'm like, my face is on the fucking like thing. Like I'm literally speaking there. And I think it's more about now.
Like what fucking point? Like when's the last time you saw a white taxi driver? Like they're all Indian. So it's like, yeah, it's... So somebody mistook you as like somebody who's, you know, doing a particular job. Like, yeah, because that's fucking normal.
Now the industry is realizing and waking up that like we need to have these people in these rooms because they bring diverse perspectives. They bring these things that, sorry, inherently I'm probably gonna have way different perspectives going through life than you probably ever will. Being a person of color is a skill in the sense of going through these experiences, navigating it, figuring it out, dealing with like being shit on from every angle and still showing up every day. And I think that in itself is its own skill that lends itself to like being creative in this industry.
But would you just...
There you go. Like she's literally exposing herself. Oh, I'm being shit on from every angle. This is somebody with a fucking personality disorder who can't handle any fucking criticism.
It's described as a valuable and viable rationale to making a hiring decision. You're not making it a DEI play. In fact, you're saying to have 6 creative people that are all white men that are 35 years old probably isn't going to set us up for success. We need some diversity on this team. But that's not just a poor DEI decision that says we need to hire these people for these reasons to fulfill our obligation.
I think it still just comes down to access. I mean, again, this is also, I don't got stats, but I feel like very rarely is it like I'm hiring this person, but they're unqualified compared to this white man that was qualified. Usually they're both very qualified candidates and probably can do the same job, and they're choosing to hire this person of color given maybe they don't have all these people, or like just an industry.
Like, there's a difference between being qualified and being the best. So, like, what she's saying, it just makes no fucking sense. Like, there's plenty of people who can qualify for the fucking Olympics. It doesn't mean they're gonna fucking win the Olympics. Like, he's saying, I want to have the option to hire the best employee. There are plenty of people who could be qualified for the job, but they're not necessarily the best employee, you fucking idiot. Like, this bitch isn't even fucking listening to what he's fucking saying.
Pattern of, hey, we should do something different.
But that's a smart decision.
When we're too often giving up because we say we can't find the right talent to fulfill the role, it's a bit of a cop-out to say that we couldn't find somebody that was an additive to the team in a way that we currently don't have. And so I think to claim that DEI is lowering the bar is missing the point of the bar entirely.
But to be clear, it's not DEI is lowering the bar, it's purpose written out. We cannot hire these people and we can only hire these people. I think that that's purposeful and harmful DEI. DEI overall, it's a great practice, right? I just think that in the question that came up is forcing it lowering the bar. And I think the answer is yes if you're forcing it. I don't think we should force it. Like, not hiring a white male because he's a white male is as bad as hiring the person of color because they're a person of color, right? I just think that it's forced, and that's incorrect.
Well, there you go.
Other piece of information that's interesting here is that his lieutenant described that besides these odd behaviors from Scotty, he also reportedly had poor ethics when it came to actual police work. And keep in mind here, Scotty is referred to as Kramer. We were on a call. It came out as an armed robbery at Home Depot, so an officer and Kramer got in a vehicle. And it was reported later that Kramer went out of jurisdiction, and then he told that officer, oh, just lie and say that I couldn't go back on a one-way street. In another incident, he tried to intimidate someone by the way he was acting, by the way he was standing. He was trying to intimidate, almost like he was trying to provoke them to do something. He has issues with lurking and trying to eavesdrop on conversations, especially if the doors are closed. He eavesdrops frequently if there's closed door meetings. With this information making its way to the public, a few other claims were also made, all of which were reported on by Runvis. For example, there was one allegation from a jiu-jitsu instructor that Scotty had threatened her. I'm a female jiu-jitsu instructor that helps out with women's self-defense seminars, and to test me, he held me down by my throat and told me he could kill me right then, and it would be easy for him to get away with it because of his police background. He told me multiple times with his military background that he can have me killed and no one would know he was connected. This instructor would also go on to say that Scotty had a history of being fired or forced to resign from jobs, which seems to line up with the previous claim about him leaving the police department as soon as he was questioned on his inappropriate comments. The image Scotty had built for himself was now officially past the point of no return, as Runvis's most popular Instagram post about the issue now had almost 170,000 likes.
AK Fitness, here I am again. Or should I call you Mr. Safe Space?
With his past mostly dug through, at this point you would think the controversy would be over. But as it turns out, in the process of Scotty attempting to walk back from the situation, he may have told another lie. Remember that Discord message where Scotty said that people were coming to his house, putting his family in danger? Runvis Coaching came forward once more to address this claim from Scotty, stating that his friend had requested public records to see if Scotty had actually called the police about this issue. What they found was that Scotty had called them, but he made no mention of anyone showing up at his house.
I'm calling to request a increased patrol at my home address. I'm heading out of town, and I'm a social media content creator with almost like 10 million followers. I'm receiving death threats, and I have family at home. I'd like to... Okay.
Now, if somebody showed up to my house in a threatening way, I would call the police and I would mention that.
People were immediately skeptical of this entire thing because why didn't he mention...
So the guy, he's just this guy's a narcissist and lies constantly and tries to manipulate people. What a fucking dork.
that people had been to his house to the police themselves. And furthermore, if he felt his family was in danger, why did he leave? Wouldn't it have made more sense to stay and protect them? To be totally fair to Scotty, the phone call was made on January 27th, while the Discord announcement was made on January 29th. So it is possible that someone showed up at his house after the phone call, but before the message, sometime within that 2-day window. At this point, he had yet to provide any proof of anyone showing up at his house, but we'll keep this point in mind for later. Runvis also points out that Scotty is not and has never been a registered bounty hunter, meaning he was either operating illegally or this was simply untrue as well. He then accused Scotty and his—
Yeah, I knew it. So this guy's just a fucking lie. Like, again, the safe space R-word shit, like, this guy's just full of crap.
Wife of being swingers, which is a claim that I've seen no proof for. At this point, Runvis had positioned himself as Scotty.
Your aggression is a classic symptom of B12 and omega-3 deficiency. Well, that's interesting because I literally inject B12. So it would literally be impossible for me to be B12 deficient. I bypass any and all absorption issues taking oral B12 by literally injecting it directly into my muscle tissue. And I also take omega-3 supplements, so that would be impossible. Dumbass.
Scotty's arch nemesis, and more people began reaching out with their own experiences. One of the more hilarious claims was regarding Scotty's time as a fireman. He claims that the reason he wears a hat in every video is because of an incident which burned his scalp. But as Runvis points out, the real explanation is simply that he is bald.
So why I wear a hat all the time? So I had second and third degree burns all over my scalp. I was out of work for like 3 months until I could go back. I went back to work and like legit a month later I had a knee surgery. So
No, but seriously, why would you tell such a tale that's very easily disproven? Does this look like a scalp that's so badly burned you have to wear a hat all the time? It's the same all the way around. He's literally just bald.
With enough of these rumors festering, Scotty finally decided to make a proper response to go over everything that had been claimed, starting with him doxing his haters, which he outright denied.
Starting out, did I respond to a hateful comment with hate and making fun of somebody who is a paraplegic? Yes. For that, Cody, I am sorry. Did I receive a comment stating that I look like the gay uncle from the Ozark television show?
He does look like the gay uncle.
Which is true and objectively hilarious. And from that comment, I made a video where people have redacted information to make it seem as if I have doxed this person. I gave this person's name, profile photo, place of employment, and how long he worked there, state that he lived in, birth month, birth year, and 3 random first names as possible associates. All of those things were on his public Facebook profile. The things that I did give in the video that were not public information, I got off of Google, not because I used to be a
Oh my god, that is the biggest fucking cop-out ever. So he doxed the guy.
Bounty hunter. That information was the last 4 digits of his phone number and the name of the street that he was last listed at residing at.
While it is probably true that most of the information he got was from Google, the same applies to most of the information people got about him. They simply searched up his name and started digging from there. Additionally, Scotty did directly publish all of the information he found to his millions of followers, undoubtedly raising—
Like, by the way, this is like the biggest load of horseshit. If you have ever gone through like a divorce court, which he has, there's going to be like, that information's public. So all the court filings will be public. There's non-redacted information in there, including like your home address. So like, would this guy be fine with like somebody literally telling his home address, like where he lives, because there's a public court filing? Oh, I didn't dox anyone. There's just public information. Like, how the fuck? It's just retarded. Like, just because you're not using some autistic method of geolocating somebody where like you know what state they live in and you like coordinate like the fucking position of the sun and everything, and that just because you don't do something like that, that doesn't mean you're not fucking doxing somebody.
the risk of someone doing something crazy with that information to this random commenter. His post was originally made to his TikTok, which has 4 million followers. He then reposted it to Instagram, where he has 2 million, and then Threads, where he has 140,000. This brings the exposure up to at least 6 million people or more who could have seen this guy's private information. It wasn't some lapse in judgment, it was deliberate. On top of that, while he tries to play off the bounty hunter thing as a joke,
The things that I did give in the video that were not public information, I got off of Google, not because I used to be a bounty hunter.
based on the original video, he was being serious.
And something else you may not know
is that I'm a former bounty hunter.
But this isn't the only dishonest thing he does in his response. Let's take a look at how he addresses the claim about people showing up to his house.
Most of this started as in response to the ICE video that I made, and whenever that video went live, I did start getting death threats. And I've gotten death threats before, so I handled it the same way I did last time, where I called in a watch order on my home. Usually it's just internet trolls. When I called in that watch order, I was in the airport about to step on the plane to go to New York for a charity organization.
As many people pointed out, this is true. He did call the police. But what he neglects to mention in this video is that he stated on his Discord that people had already showed up to his house, which is kind of a strange thing to leave out here. And of course, he makes sure to humble brag that he was going to a charity event instead of just saying he was going out of town.
For a charity organization.
Now, after addressing these things, he moves on to talk about the findings in the police documents, as well as the rumors that he had committed some kind of sex offense.
People started throwing around allegations, and what they're referring to is that 9 years ago, in my previous marriage, I had an affair with a woman who had previously been dating a cop. They just broke up. I had 3 consensual sexual encounters with this woman, once in her new apartment when I helped her move, once at my home while my wife was at work. I was a bad husband. And the third at a part-time job an hour outside of town when I was working security at a construction yard as an off-duty law enforcement officer. Afterwards, she told me that she still loved her ex-boyfriend, that she was going to get back with him and tell him that we had slept together. The day after that happened, I was asked to leave the department. I was fired, which makes sense because it's a cardinal sin to sleep with another cop's girl. Again, I sucked.
While this story definitely could be true, it once again reeks of the humble bragging he usually does. I mean, if he was involved with another cop's girlfriend, wouldn't that be brought up in all of the HR interviews conducted about his poor conduct? Isn't that literally the kind of thing human resources exist for? Besides this, he is at least being consistent in denying the claims that he was inappropriate at his job, which is something he also did while being interviewed by his lieutenant. However, I'm not sure how cheating on your wife with another cop's girlfriend gets mistaken for cheating on your wife 35 times, which is what was actually claimed in the documents. He continues.
Not just because of that, but because I was 22 years old and lacked the critical thinking skills that it takes to be a good police officer. I drove 130 miles an hour everywhere I went because, again, 22 years old and I had a cop car. If I got into pursuits or aided other departments in pursuits, I would cut off other cops to try to be a hero. I would drive 70 miles an hour down dirt roads. At one point, I actually ran a person off the road and didn't even realize it until 3 hours later when he called the department and was gunning for my badge. I got written up all the time for these things.
Once again, if all of this is true and he got written up about it all the time, why would this not be in the documents? I don't think he was in any pursuits or running anyone off of dirt roads without realizing it. This is just another case of
this guy thinks he sounds like a badass and is just making up, like, cool stories.
him trying to sound like his life is a TV show. He was a glorified security guard in Oklahoma. I don't think a lot of hot pursuits were going on at Tulsa Community College. It really confuses me on why he's using these weird lies as examples of why he's a bad cop, instead of the mutually verified claims made by his captain and lieutenant. He then abruptly ends his explanation about his time in the police and moves on to the bounty hunter thing.
Now I moved down to Texas and I became a bail enforcement agent. A lot of people are saying that that's false. I was sitting in the office one day, learning how to do my job, and my boss came in and handed me 2 certification cards. One was for private investigating, one was for bail enforcement agent. And I said, "Sir, I didn't take these exams. How did I get these?" And he said, "Stop asking questions, son." So I did, because I wanted to keep my job. After a while working there, I heard through the grapevine that the woman I had an affair with was alleging sex. And as you can imagine, my heart fell into my stomach. But as somebody with a background in law enforcement, albeit brief, I knew that if she had made those allegations and made a report, that there would be an investigation and that we would get through that. And because it didn't happen, I wasn't worried about it.
But there was never such an investigation nor report. So I moved on with my life.
It's odd how he quickly glides through this topic without showing any evidence he was ever a legally certified bounty hunter. I was sort of expecting him to throw something up on screen or physically hold up something that could verify he was, at one point, certified. While I can't say that he for sure wasn't one, I don't understand why he wouldn't just produce some kind of evidence or receipt that he was. It can't be that hard. His next stop during this response regards his time in the military as a contractor.
I've seen a lot of rumors going around that somehow I'm stolen valor, that I spent 11 years in the Oklahoma Army National Guard and I never deployed. Well, that's true. I never deployed with the Oklahoma Army National Guard. I deployed with a company called Triple Canopy. And here's a video of me in Kabul.
If you like horror movies, I recommend this one. It's about a punk band who gets trapped by a bunch of supremacists after witnessing a murder, of a comedy, but Tucker and Dale vs. Evil is good too.
Shared live. It's over. Holy shit.
I told you to follow me. Stop! Go!
You can't keep us here. You gotta let us go. We're not keeping you. You're just staying. We're so fucking dead, guys.
Oh my god, this is just terrible. I'm not watching this. Dude, the amount of low budget horror movies that are like this, they have the exact same plot. They rent out like one house or one studio space, one location, and then they come up with some plot for why they're trapped there and can't escape. And the entire movie takes place in like one room. Like I just can't anymore. So yeah, I am not watching that. Thanks for the donation, Ben Boy.
With a geolocation on it. My job title in Afghanistan was Armed Guard Level 2. I was a gate guard. Entry Control Point, ECP, and sometimes I was in machine gun towers, and those were even cardboarded up. Glorified security guard.
This is probably the part of his response which contains the most verifiable truth, and you can almost see how he gets bolder when talking about it. Most, if not all of what he said here has receipts, even if he doesn't admit to playing his time in Afghanistan up as if he was an actual soldier in some of his TikTok posts. But it appears he has directly lied about his military service as a means of securing sponsorships in private. One person that came forward in the midst of this entire situation was former Fat Guy Fitness. He's a content creator who made a post detailing his various grievances with Scotty, as they were friends very early in Scotty's TikTok career. But the most important thing he reveals is this message, wherein Scotty is messaging a company to secure a sponsorship. In his qualifications, he states, "I'm a father, firefighter, paramedic student, and
combat veteran." Oh boy.
And combat veteran. This obviously implies that he has been in combat. Now, it's possible that he just forgot to mention his active firefight experience in his response video because he just didn't think it was important, but I think the more likely explanation is that he was lying to secure a sponsorship. After this, he circles back to his time as a cop in Tulsa, and at least here, he outright admits that some of the things claimed were true, bringing up him talking to other cops about fellatio or trying to get some college girl's Facebook. Although he says that this was pretty common behavior for cops. He doesn't mention the claims he was eavesdropping or the claim he was trying to intimidate and provoke people, but he does say that he made an HR complaint about his captain and his lieutenant, and he puts a long string of text on screen. Although I can't personally confirm that this HR
Donate $2. If women ran the world for just a year, everything would be great and there would be no wars and everyone would be fed and live comfortably according to them also. It's definitely not true. Mass protests just broke out at Shahid Beheshti University in Trans. Students are chanting "Long live Shah." Yeah, Iran's fed up. There's a lot of dumbasses in the comments, though. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
HR complaint is legit and dated to before the complaints about his behavior started, it's worth remembering that the complaints about him started in December 2020.
21st when tellers go to Streamlabs, Vegan Gains tip, click. Month, look at number one tipper. After that, go back to week and look at tipper again. I control your income, bitch. Okay, that's nice. Thanks for the donation, 21st.
And it came not just from his captain and lieutenant, but also from fellow coworkers and TCC staff. So I highly doubt that this was a concerted effort from a few higher-ups who were out to get him. Regardless, this is what his complaint said. I would like to start this narrative by stating that I do not believe the CTC Police Department is inherently a bad place to work. However, during my time at Metro Campus, under the supervision of my lieutenant and my captain, I have found myself in a toxic, unhealthy, awkward, and unbearable work environment. As I come into work, I barely speak to my teammates in the Metro campus as a result of this feeling. I am treated differently as an outcast or unequal. My police officer counterparts do not respect nor speak to me for reasons I do not know. On multiple occasions, I have been talked down to by the lieutenant. I have heard her speaking about me negatively and derogatorily to someone on the phone with her office door shut when she thought that no one could hear. I have heard the captain speak to the lieutenant in his office saying things such as, "He's a savage pig in a round world." Continue to write down all issues. That way, when and if he goes to the chief's office and complains about being picked on, we can say, no, here's why. Metro campus is an island, and all the other campuses can fall into the ocean for all I care. In this HR complaint, he is indirectly confirming that he was indeed eavesdropping on his captain and lieutenant. But beyond this, there's just no way to verify that these things were said about him or not. After this, he complains about the department's lack of commitment to certain limitations of his work hours due to him being a full-time father of two, and that although the captain was more cooperative, his lieutenant went out of her.
Holy shit, dude, what would you do if this faggot mountain lion killed your cat like this and stared down your kid? I'd fucking kill it.
Oh my goodness.
Probably let him eat my kid. Especially if he's an asshole. If he killed my cat, then definitely kill the mountain lion. Oh, cat. I thought you said kid. I didn't see that first part. Yeah, I'd kill the mountain lion. Thanks for the donation, dude. I'm also not an idiot who'd let my cat outside. So. Stupidity on both fronts. Thanks for the donation, Pika. 21st Money Tellers, imagine thinking you're successful and bragging about the amount of money you make. I don't really. But I can shut that off anytime, as I did a bit early last month. I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure you can't help yourself, but try to annoy me. Took a little break trolling you, and you were strapped for cash. Barely made 1K until the 20th. Thanks for the donation, 21st.
For way to inconvenience him whenever she could. Even in small ways, like making snide remarks towards him, or giving him incomplete instructions to tasks that would make him take longer. Honestly, it could be that he's telling the truth here. It's not as if Scotty is the only slightly dysfunctional person who managed to become a cop. But ultimately, there's no way we can tell who was more in the wrong here. The rest of the video has a lot of him retracing and giving extra details about his time as a cop or his time in deployment. So I'm going to summarize the parts that aren't related to that, as we've already gone over that stuff. First, he shows pictures of the burns he suffered as a fireman, as well as the disability checks he got for the burns. And although this stuff is helpful to establish the severity of his medical issues during that time, it doesn't make his story about why he wears a cap any less cap. He probably does just wear a hat because he's bald, and I don't blame him for that. The day the Reaper comes for me, get ready for a whole new line of beanies and hats because I'm gonna be needing them. Secondly, he addresses the claim that his coaching business is a scam, saying that he's always been open about having other people do the actual coaching in his business because he can't personally handle every client. Because I haven't seen any credible claims that he's gone out of his way to mislead people about the nature of his coaching, I'm inclined to say that he's not actually scamming scamming people. Because if he were, it would have already come out given how much people hate this guy. In his response, Scotty mentions that people have been calling him V-Shred 2.0 because of this. But it's not as if his criticisms of V-Shred were focused on the mere fact that V-Shred sells coaching. So I honestly don't think that's applicable to him. Lastly, he talks about his public wedding registries, where he sets things up so fans of his can send him donations and gifts, which is something that some people took issue with, describing him as an e-beggar. However, I think, especially in this day and age, everyone who's a content creator has a decent brunt of their online existence revolve around donos and things of that sort. So unless you're going hard in the paint and sympathy baiting people into donating to you, I don't think it's fair to turn this into an issue. What is interesting, and perhaps the most fitting send-off to this response, is that he makes fun of people who were fixating on trying to get him to shave off his huge mustache, claiming that he had already shaved it a week and a half prior of his own accord, and not because of anything that was happening online. But
21st only tellers, if myself and Dodo stopped donating to you overnight, you'd literally be broke. You'd have to get a job ASAP. I could see you working for Uber Eats, maybe. Maybe you can work alongside, you know who, maybe Amazon delivery or something. I'd probably just start online coaching again. Thanks for the donation, 21st.
As per a tweet shared by Runvis, this was provably false, which just brings us back to Scotty. His tendency to lie about small, pointless things.
So I had already kind of pointed this out when I said that Scotty still had his mustache in his apology video, but he said in this response video here that he shaved it a week and a half ago. Well, here's even more proof of him lying about absolutely stupid things, because he still has the duster when he is at a presentation on the 29th. So why are we lying about the date on which you shaved your mustache, Scotty?
In May of 2025, Dr. K, who I would describe as a therapy and mental health YouTuber, did an interview with Scotty. And despite the fact that this took place long before any of the controversies, there's a point in the interview where Dr. K manages to break through the discipline is everything coach persona of Scotty and draws some real sincerity out of him.
Yeah, but the valuation of yourself doesn't carry weight. I can't value myself enough to feel better about who I am. My value is not intrinsic. It's not something I get to decide. It's something that is given to me based on...
Honestly, if Dodo stopped donating to you, I probably would as well. To force you to stop being lazy and make videos and do more debates to try to get more exposure. You've gotten far too comfy with the small audience you have. That would teach you.
Oh, I am gonna make more videos, okay? I think especially when it warms up, it's gonna be a bit easier. Just, dude, the winter's got me, like, just fucked. But, I'm gonna make more, videos, alright? Thanks for the donation, 21st.
who I am and what I do for others. I believe that. I know that's not a great look, but I believe that.
It's ironic that he couches this admission with, "It's not a great look." Seemingly, everything for Scotty is partly about how it looks for others, which is why he so frequently resorts to socially engineering how other people see him. The only problem with that is, when you lie that frequently to impress people, it doesn't matter how small the lies are, you will get caught. When you're uncomfortable with yourself because of whatever internal issues you may have, people tend to strongly project how they want to be perceived, because they're insecure. But this shouldn't come off as a
Lol bro, you made like $400 per month with online coaching last time around. You said your rent was $2,200 or something? And you spend a fuck ton on food because you like to eat. Guarantee you spend $250 plus per week on food. You wouldn't make enough with coaching.
I don't spend anywhere near that much money on food. Nowhere fucking close. It's probably right around 100, if we include the protein powder that I eat. But yeah, it's nowhere near 250. I did the online coaching twice. The first time I did it, I actually made a lot of fucking money. I think I brought in like $4,500 in the first month, but that's because I did more clients and I was offering cheaper rates. The second time I did it, I upped the cost because I didn't want much clients, and I think I still brought in like 800. So, like, if I really had to, I could just focus on online coaching. I just don't like doing it, but, you know, if I had to. Thanks for the donation on the 21st.
A surprise to anyone. If you keep up with the commentary coverage of online fitness figures, you'll quickly find out that a lot of these guys are screwed up in one way or another. It just comes down to how willing they are to be honest about their flaws. Scotty's latest TikTok was posted 10 days after his response, wherein he seems to hint at his own personal shortcomings, but he essentially chalks it up to, well, we all fail sometimes.
I hope that none of us, or all of us, are judged by the actions of our weakest moment, but rather by the strength we show if and when we are given a second chance. Life lessons and wisdom are purchased.
This guy is literally just a narcissist. He's never going to learn. He's like Frank Defano.
Just through failures. You're allowed to fail.
He ends the video by drinking a Red Bull. Meanwhile, Runvis posted this.
It feels nice exposing the lies, but it kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth, so...
Is that the bass guy who, like, calls natties pussies, Runvis? I think... Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's him. Yeah, he's the guy who, who's the, you know, TRT plus bro. Yeah, he's funny. He triggers the fuck out of people like, Atlas Power Shrugged and shit. Who's that other dipshit I hate? Basement Bodybuilding. He's a fucking dork.
I had to rinse it out with a little Rise energy.
I've been Turkey Tom. Thanks for watching, and until...
Yeah, I didn't know much about that guy, but sounds like a fucking dork. Jeez. Alright, it is really fucking late, 6:20. I'm going to take my growth hormone and go to sleep. 21st, only $2. Jesus Christ, only $800 a month, and that was when your audience was about double the size it is now. Yeah, again, that was deliberate. I didn't want many clients, and I didn't want to, like, focus on, you know, making a bunch of money. I just needed a little sprinkle on top. You know, because the leech problem. Just needed a little bit of extra cash, and I didn't want to spend too much time with coaching clients. Besides, all the fitness interested viewers of yours by now are all seasoned and don't need your coaching. You're actually cooked because you got complicit. Okay, well, thanks for the advice. Thanks for the donation, 21st.
You were right, those Palestine protesters are all funded by the CCP. Fuck Discord. Apparently if you gave them Face ID they compared it with lists of wanted and shady individuals.
Oh my god.
Something that we already knew, that Discord's age verification and age verification in general is full of crap. They are just trying to collect your biometric information and data to just go ahead and track everything that you do. And if people aren't upset about this news story, and if this news story doesn't blow up, then I have just lost all faith in humanity. So basically, Discord was using a freaking third-party vendor. I guess they're saying temporarily using it, but now you'll see everything that Discord says is a lie, called Persona. So what Persona was doing is they were managing the biometric data that they were getting through the ID age checks and the age verification for Discord and other services. However, all they did was take our biometric information that people were submitting through their freaking facial scans and IDs. I'm so annoyed right now. And they just left it there in some sort of US government system thing.
Alright, well, I'm not going to be using Discord if they force me to use any of that.
The money gets moved around. You just referenced a number of these groups. Arabella Advisors, the Tides groups. These are left-wing, dark money groups. So you've got this incredible, I mean, just look at the number of different entities on this one chart. All of this money moving through all of these different groups, many of them, again, non-disclosed donors, right? So we don't know exactly where the donors ultimately come from. Oftentimes the entity that gets the money doesn't have to report where they get the money. So it's washed through multiple times. And what you're saying is your research has found multiple different left-wing groups that are funding these protests on the ground in Minnesota. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. And the foreign money is probably the most concerning, whether it's from Neville Roy Singham or the Swiss billionaire Hans-Jörg Wyss.
Okay, talk about that. Talk about the foreign money, because you've mentioned Singham now a couple of times. There was a New York Post article not long ago talking about Neville Singham.
Yeah, Soros does that shit. I don't know why George Soros does this crap.
Who's based, I think, in China. Tell us what your research has uncovered about this foreign money making its way to American protests that often harm our law enforcement officers.
Neville
Sure.
Singham.
So Neville Roy Singham, he's an American citizen. He's an avowed Marxist. And he made nearly $1 billion roughly a decade ago.
That guy.
Selling his
Okay, yeah. He's a crazy wacko communist. Yeah, I've seen him before.
tech company.
There's also that Chinese billionaire who's doing that shit.
Yeah, fair enough that one was kinda low budget I guess, but Tucker and Dale versus Evil was good though.
Yeah, I've been wanting to watch that one for a while. I just haven't gotten around to it. Thanks for the donation, Ben Boy.
One of the funds that purchased the tech company had Chinese sovereign wealth money in it. And once he sold that company, again, got close to $1 billion, he now uses that money to fund a variety of protest, riot, anti-Semitic protests, the pro-Hamas things in New York. He funded the LA riots earlier this year.
Yeah, I know the Neville Roy guy is married to the Code Pink bitch.
So he lives in China, is a pro-CCP guy, and he's not done. He's also got very close ties to the communists in Cuba. He finances trips for American groups to go down to Cuba to receive Marxist revolutionary training. They come back here, and then they operate on the ground. Famously, one of the groups in Salt Lake City, the Armed Queers of Salt Lake City, they went down to Cuba and got one of these trips. They're also very anti-ICE and working on these anti-ICE demonstrations.
So let me just make sure I understand. You're telling me that
these people should be in jail. They're receiving foreign money by foreign adversaries to just start bullshit here. All the people involved with groups like Code Pink should just be in fucking jail. All right, I am tired. It is fucking late. So I'm gonna sleep, and then we should be doing a back workout later today. My shoulder's feeling better, so we should be able to do it just fine. And I'll see you guys later today. So big thanks to everybody who donated on Streamlabs, especially 21st and Dodo, who are keeping me from being broke, apparently. But thanks again, everybody. I will see you all tomorrow. Sweet dreams.